I call to order this regular scheduled meeting of the 34th City Council for August 12th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Just would like to remind everyone in the audience to please silence your cell phones and communication devices as to not disturb the meeting. Mr. Clerk, can we please have the roll call?
Yes, Councilmember Enos.
Here.
Councilmember Hammoud.
Here.
Councilmember Abraham.
Here.
Councilmember Paris.
Here.
Councilmember El Sawafi.
Here.
Councilmember Herrick.
Here.
Council President Sereni.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, this time I'd like to turn the meeting over to Councilman Robert Abraham.
Thank you, Council President. It's my honor to introduce Reverend Monica Ola from Help Is Near Missionary Ministry Church, who will deliver tonight's invocation. I invite all who are able to please stand for the invocation and remain standing for our country's Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you. Good evening. Let us pray. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, maker of everything. We give thanks for this day and for your constant provision. It's always an honor and privilege to stand unitedly with Dearborn City Council, an amazing, hardworking, and dedicated group of leaders working as one. Father, continue your hand of wonderful blessings upon this body of committed councilmen, councilwomen, president, mayor, legal team, and the plethora of team members working beside our leaders, as well as those working behind the scenes. Father, asking for a rich supply of protection and a watchful eye upon our municipal servants, including our police, firefighters, and medical team. For the citizens of Dearborn, comfort for our stricken children and families due to accidents and unfortunate circumstances. Also, Father, praying for health and healing for those afflicted with sorrow and sadness. May equity, justice, and fairness continue to be our practice throughout our lives. May tonight's agenda meet its goals, and if by chance any discussion is warranted, may your wisdom be our compass. And as always, Father, we thank you for your unseen hedge of protection over us and our families during our absence. Now, may harmony, patience, respect, and peace hover over us all, for we are better together. So let it be written, so let it be done. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Reverend. All right, we have a few... We do have a few special recognitions from the council I'd like to read off as far as part of our agenda. So first, Mr. Clerk, can we have the first item?
Item 4, resolution by Council President Sereni, supported unanimously, acknowledging Hadi Mazrani from Dearborn High School on receiving the title of state champion at the Michigan USA Wrestling Nationals and requesting immediate effect.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Cruz. We'd like to recognize and take a moment for this outstanding student-athlete achievement, Hadi Marzi. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. Oh, that's you?
Mazrani.
Mazrani, excellent. Who earned the title of a state champion, which is a tremendous feat. For freestyle wrestling in his weight class, this incredible achievement is a testament to not only Hadi's athletic talent, but also his dedication, extreme discipline, and preservation that brings both sports and academics. Reaching this level of success takes hard work, long hours of training, and a commitment to excellence on and off the mat. Hadi, we're very proud to celebrate you and your accomplishments today, and we're really looking forward to what the future brings. I did have one of my sons do wrestling. It's a tremendous sport. It's there's no one to lean on to you. You're out there by yourself. An excellent sport, tremendous dedication, and tremendous discipline. So to win a state title is a big deal. We wanted to recognize and give you a round of applause. What I'd like to do is we're going to run through these, and then we'll have the council come down one time and get photos together with your citation. So we really do appreciate you attending. Any questions or comments on this one? Okay. Any objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 5, resolution by Council President Sereni, supported unanimously, acknowledging Jamal Jawad from the Custard Company, as well as Ali Anada Kiosk Food Truck for their generous contributions to the city and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. We'd like to take a moment. This came from our Recreation Department, and a tremendous service to, we have a couple different individuals here that we wanted to recognize. So we'd like to take a moment to express our appreciation to Ali Aneda Cake from Cake's Food Truck, and of course his kids, because they're the ones working in the food truck. I know because I go there. As well as to Jamal and Nadia Jawad from Custard Co. Tremendous, look, folks, you cannot have the events that the mayor has been doing and the city's been doing without support from your local businesses and communities. So support those that support us. Mr. Cake and his family has been doing a tremendous amount of job helping out when we have special events. And the Custard Co. Company, Jamal and Nadia Jawad, what they've been doing at a moment's notice, because sometimes we do have really quick, fast requests at the city of Dearborn without much notice. And Mr. Jawad, you guys have always answered the call. We really do appreciate that. We'd like to thank them for their generosity, their leadership, and always their deep care as residents and people that believe that Dearborn is always their home. So we do appreciate that. And Mayor, did you want to add anything to this?
Yeah, can you give me permission?
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Permission grant?
You're on, there you go.
You know, Dearborn is blessed that we have such a strong small business community. And many of these small businesses uplift so many of our families across the city, many of the businesses uplifting multiple families. And they have multiple generations working within one small business. And two of those esteemed businesses are the Cakes Trucks and the Custard Co. And I can't count how many times over the last several years that each and every time we've had an event, or each and every time there's been a nonprofit or a good cause, the entire family has showed up and offered in goodwill at no cost to support the events that we've been hosting in partnership with so many other community organizations. And so I thank the Parks and Rec Committee, the Parks and Rec team for bringing this forward to recognizing these two outstanding businesses. It's no surprise that Jamal is a brother of mine. For so many years, we've grown up together. Ali and Neda have come to learn and get to know over the last several years, but they've grown to be family as well as their children, who had a very successful lemonade stand at the Homecoming Festival. And so congratulations, thank you so much, and we sincerely appreciate all you do to contribute back to the city of Dearborn. I don't know when free ice cream cone day is, but I think the weather also would call for another one. So just putting that out there as well, if we can.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Mayor. And again, we do appreciate that. We're going to get, the council will come down and we'll get a photo together. It does take all the community, and we do appreciate it. Anybody that gives back in any way you can really makes a difference. Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Item 6, resolution by Councilmember Eno, supported unanimously, acknowledging the 80th birthday of longtime resident Steve Hussein and requesting immediate effect.
All right, thank you very much. On July 20th, a longtime resident of Dearborn, Steve Hussein, celebrated his 80th birthday. A citation was hand-delivered by Council President Pro Temp Herrick to Mr. Hussein in honor of his birthday. We'd like to wish him for many, many more wonderful filled years of health and happiness and cherished moments, and staying as a Dearborn resident. I know he's here, so once we come down, we will make sure that we get a photo with you together. Councilwoman Herrick.
Thank you, Council President. I just wanted to recognize Steve as well. He represents what many families in Dearborn have seen over the years, where one generation moves here and the subsequent generations make their families and make their homes here as well. Steve, as Council President said, came here 46 years ago. He was born in Lebanon, and then he lived in he got married here and went to Australia. That's where his 3 children were born. But they chose to come back to Dearborn and make their home here for the next 46 years. All 3 of his children graduated from Dearborn High School. Go Pioneers. And he is very proud, a very proud resident of Dearborn. And I know he, again, represents so many families that have come here, made their homes here. And so when his daughter reached out to council and asked that we acknowledge his 80th birthday, we didn't hesitate to say, of course we will. And so glad he can join us here today. Congratulations, Steve. Happy birthday.
Absolutely. And of course, it had to be your daughter to do that, because every father knows that the daughter is very close to their heart. Absolutely. Okay, unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item number 7, resolution by Councilmember Al Sawafi, supported unanimously, acknowledging the leaders advancing and helping communities, also known as LAHC, for their ongoing dedication and efforts in improving our community and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. We would like to recognize the leadership in advancing helping communities, or LHAC, for their commitment, compassion, and inclusion to civic engagement. The LAHC uplifts individuals and families throughout a wide range of impactful programs and services, including youth guideline initiatives, education enrichment, and of course, health access, as well as social programs. The LHAC's vision exemplifies the very best of Dearborn values and serves as a powerful reminder of the transformations that these organizations can bring to our city. Councilman El Swafi, would you like to
Thank
make
you,
a few
Council
words?
President.
Absolutely.
No, I just want to thank LAHC as well. I did a tour of their facility. They offer great services to our community, and I truly believe in the quote that a community's greatness is measured by how well it treats its most vulnerable, and LHHC definitely does that, and I appreciate everything that you do, and I appreciate you making Dearborn home. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Hammoud.
Yeah, so I have a bit of a personal connection with LAHC. Back when it was the Lebanese American Heritage Club, so my parents actually got married at Ned al-Libnani, it was known at the time. So that's one aspect. I wouldn't be here without LAHC, literally.
Yeah.
You know, Ali Jawad was the founder of LAHC, and he's been a friend of my family since we first came here. My grandpa had nothing. It's a story that not very many people know, but Ali Jawad at the time only had heard of my grandfather when he came here from Canada as a refugee, and you know, it was that welcoming and open arms that helped my family be able to start what we did here. Whether it be, I'm not gonna go through my whole family, but you know, if it wasn't for the help of,
I was hoping you weren't going to do that.
yeah, well, I think the success of my family speaks for itself, and I think the key here to recognize is none of that would have been possible, and I wouldn't be here today without the work of LAHC and also Al Jawad impacting my family. And even today, LAHC still gives out a scholarship, I think, in the name of my grandfather, Mustafa Hammoud. And you know, I always think about that, and I really appreciate it because for him, education was so important. So thank you guys so much for all the work that you guys do.
Oh, absolutely. And I know we have a representative here. We're going to have them come up when we get the photos. But I agree, Councilman Hammoud, and you probably remember, I mean, I know I did back in the days, it was an athletic club is where it started. Because they had the nicest jogging uniforms in the whole area. They were beautiful. A really nice uniform, and it was a sports and athletic club that kept morphing and developing. And under the leadership yourself, really where it really started to flourish and became more of a social program aspect, and starting receiving some grants that could actually be put back out into the community. I know through the city, but more importantly federally as well. So we do appreciate them. Any other questions or comments? Any objection to unanimous roll? Okay, unanimous roll shall be attached. So at this time, I'd like to have the council come down, and we're going to go in the order in which we started. So the wrestler's always first. We'll have you up here first, and we'll get a quick photo, okay? All right, Mayor, would you like to join them? Okay,
What's it?
For the years, I'll start using the steps. One day my knee's gonna give out.
Okay, okay, thank you.
He doesn't work yet.
He said he's your cousin, that's why I said it's labeled.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, thank you guys all for that brief opportunity to recognize these outstanding achievements. This is something, when we took over the council, the 34th council started to really highlight the positive aspects of the city of Dearborn. There's so many good things that are happening, and the recognition is well-deserved, so we do appreciate everybody taking the time to come here and my colleagues to recommend these aspects, and some call in and request them. Some are brought from the administration, some are brought from the independent departments, and from individuals. So we do really appreciate that and wanted to make sure that they get the recognition that was deserved. So, Mr. Clerk, can we go on to the next item?
Yes, item number 8 is a resolution by Council President Sereni, supported unanimously, offering condolences to the family of Joe Terry and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Joe Lawrence Terry sadly passed away on June 15, 2024, and at the age of 79. He's survived by his wife, Sue, and his children, Joseph, Lori, and David, 5 grandchildren, 1 great-grandchild named after him, and his 2 brothers as well, Ron and Dan. He was born on December 9, 1944. Joe was a dedicated Army veteran who served his country at the Vietnam War. After his discharge, he continued to display commitment to service throughout his life as an active member of the VFW. His dedication and commitment earned him the title of Dearborn's Veteran of the Year in 2001. Outside of his work with the VFW, Joe had a career as a test technician at Ford Motor Company and was the owner of his own electrical contracting business. Beyond his personal life, Joe enjoyed marksmanship, reading, cooking. He loved going to garage sales and spending time, of course, with his family. His outgoing nature led him to develop long-lasting relationships, and he was known for having a wonderful sense of humor. His family remembers him as a loving father who is always there to offer his guidance, especially when it came to tackling electrical, plumbing, and home repairs, especially when it came to those features as well. There's nothing that Joe could not fix. Joe will be deeply missed by his family, his kids, and all that knew him. His legacy of hard work, kindness, and willingness to help others will continue to inspire those whose lives he touched around. On behalf of the 34th Dearborn City Council, we extend our deepest condolences to the Terry family, and we honor Joe's memory and his legacy of service and his values that he lived. May his example continue to inspire all. And a unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Number 9 is public comment.
Okay, at this point, we have some public comment cards, and I know we have a representative. This is the public portion. Would you like to step forward, and then we'll go through the order? Yeah. Wasim?
Wasim Mahfouz, today I'm going to use my Dearborn address. I'm a Livonia resident. Working in Dearborn.
All right, we'll take that.
5 Candleworth. Mr. Chair, esteemed council members, Mr. Mayor, I want to thank you so much for this wonderful recognition, which I humbly and gratefully accept on behalf of the 60,000 individuals that we serve annually at LEHC and the army of staff, dedicated board members, and volunteers that put their best effort day in and day out to serve the community. I'm only the face of the organization. They put me out there because I'm a bit easy on the eyes, but I assure you they do the work.
That's right.
When you embark on the mission of public service, you do not do it for the sake of recognition and accolades. But when the recognition comes from family and people who are very familiar with the organization and the work we do, touches the heart, and it's greatly appreciated. Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for your leadership, for your support. I'd like to recognize Councilman Asawafi and thank him for nominating LEHC for this award. And we are very honored and proud to be your partners in the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Wasim. Thank you. I skipped over, but just to remind everybody, this is the council's public comment portion. And we allow 30 minutes prior to the meeting agenda item so that you do not have to wait to go through the rest of the agenda item. There's also another public comment at the end where there's unlimited time. And just a kind reminder, if there's an item that is being discussed before us, we ask that you wait for that item to be called so that you can be better served at that time. So I'm going to go with these cards that we have. We have Michelle Toko. Yes, you'd like to step forward, ma'am? And just a kind reminder, just your name and address for the record. I know you wrote it on here. And then there's a 3-minute limitation, and the clerk will give you a warning once you have 30 seconds remaining.
My name's Michelle Toko. I live at 25320 Cherry Hill, third house from Gully. And I'd like to talk about the water bill and the sewage. My elderly neighbors came to me, not me, I'm not elderly, but they wanted to know if there's any way, because it's summertime, if they could get a reduction in that bill because they're using so much water outside. And I told them in the past, I thought you could get a separate meter. But everybody at the water department acts like I'm crazy. Where's that 80-year-old man?
He left, ma'am, but you could address the council. Go ahead.
Okay. So is there any way that we could get discounts on that water bill for the outdoor usage?
Well, thanks for that question. I know, and I know our director's here. You can come up just in case I misspeak, but, and I also talked to legal about this. So there was a time where there was a question whether you could have a separate meter for inside and outside, but they all go into the sewer. I want to make sure, and I don't know if the mayor, if you want to speak on this, but I want people to understand, the water rates are controlled by the state and by GLEWA, and we do not profit on them. The rates are set. We try to keep them as low as possible. For me personally, too, just not to get into the story, but I was a council member years back that we continued to pay them for fees. I convinced my colleagues to put that in escrow, and we return that back to the taxpayer. So the water bill, as far as the usage, there's no really way to separate it because it ends up going back into the sewer. So, but we do have our director here. Director Hawkins, do you have something you can add regarding separating outdoor water from indoor water?
So, Tim Hawkins, Director of Department of Public Works. So, we've been reviewing this because this has come before us recently. Again, somebody else had brought it forward. And there used to be a section in the ordinance, which I have to research, that allowed for separate meters, but you had to have a separate service. So that means you'd have to bring in a separate line and have it separate, individually metered, because the line coming to your house is designed for your interior use. So to have a sprinkler, system, you would have to have a separate service brought in, because the line that is from the main to your house may not be adequate to run 2 meters.
Right. In our water rates, we have fought, just so you know, I mean, before this council took over, we had the rates calculated. I said it plainly on the TV. There was companies that were using much more water and saving over $1 million. We changed that formula. That was about 4 years ago to make, and I was very proud about it because I worked very hard regarding it. I don't believe you should be using water to make products and services that can be passed on to the end user, and then the residents have to pay for it. So the people that were using more were getting a short end of the stick. We changed that at this council. So I can tell you that regarding what the director is indicating about researching it, and then I'd like Mr. Romer if he can add to it, but my understanding is that even if you separated it, your water going out, going into your home, however it comes in, is charged the same way going out. So it still goes into the sewer. So, Mr. Romer, did you want to? I know you have to.
The lawn is considered the sewer too?
The way the water bills work is whatever comes in is assumed it goes back into the sewer. So it's a charge for water use and water going out of your home into the sewer. So it's both the same. Legal, is your mic on?
There we go.
All right.
Yeah, and so my understanding of the old provision as well, even with the separate line, you still had to demonstrate that the water used was not going back into the city sewer, because
That's right.
that's what's assumed with the main line. So oftentimes it's never less expensive to do that because of the install of the additional line. Plus, you have to prove that it's not going into the city sewer, like evaporating and such. But I'm not, it's been some time since I've looked at that provision, so as the director indicated, I myself would have to go back to see what's in the code.
Okay, all right.
Right, but again, if it was separated, even if it was separated, it still would be, the burden would be on the resident to prove that that water that hit the grass didn't go into the soil, which is impossible because it goes into the sewer and the runoff. But as they indicated, it's not going to help them reduce their water bill. I think that's what their concern is.
Yeah.
Is that right? Your neighbor's
Yes,
concern?
yes, and
Right.
mine too.
Right. No, I understand. I mean, if you look at our water rates, sometimes we're having 5 and 6% increases a year, and there's only so much we can do because water has been used less and less and less. So for people who think, well, what's the big deal? If it's less, that's better. It's not, because the cost of the service and the cost of bringing water to the homes and the infrastructure hasn't changed. It's actually gotten more expensive, as far as the infrastructure. So unfortunately, it's a tough situation, and water is one of the main priorities of the council, setting the water rate every single year. And we do take it very seriously. Like I said, when there was a flooding recently in Detroit, the mayor, I met with the mayor and the team and GLEWA up in our offices here, and really we're looking at what happens if these sewers blow up and break in our city of Dearborn. What were they going to do for our residents? So we are well aware of the water rates, and I don't want you to think that it's not serious. We do believe, it's our job to keep as low as rate as we can.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right, thank you very much for your question.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Director. All right, next we have Mr. Nagy. Who's not on?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Naji Al-Mudhaji, and I live at Prospect. So I actually have a lot of things to say, but I'm just going to focus on one item because I know we only have 3 minutes. I just want to say, on behalf of the residents, we live our lives and, we work 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours. So we really can't monitor. I know we, as citizens, obviously we need to do a better job, of watching what's going on and understanding what's going on. But I just want to say there's a lot of people out there, that work really, really hard and they cannot follow everything that's going on with city council. But that being said, one of the items here that was passed just a little while ago is this $720,000 contract with Axon/Fusus. And honestly, I was quite disappointed to see that the whole city council, it was passed unanimously 7-0. And there's a lot of concerns and there are a lot of things brought up over the last few days, which I checked a couple of the items, but Axon obviously is a hardware provider with the body cams, and it's used throughout the United States, hundreds of thousands of police departments. But the software, and I've been in software for almost 15 years now, so I know a little bit about how software works. And let me tell you guys something. I'm very familiar with AI, and AI is a great tool, don't get me wrong, but it's something that can be very, very, very dangerous. And I wanted to bring that to your guys' attention because merging AI with these cameras and then linking them all together to private businesses and even potentially private homes, that has severe, severe implications for, citizens' rights and citizens' privacy. I know when we're outside, I get that. We don't have a privacy, you don't have a right to provide privacy. But ladies and gentlemen, at the same time, I don't want to live in a society or in a city where the government, whoever it may be, local government, federal government, state government, has drones flying 24/7 and telling me, oh, you don't have a right to privacy. I don't want to live in that kind of country. And so the thing I want to ask you guys is there any evidence?
You have 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Is there any evidence that having this software Fusus has actually reduced crime in any of the places that it was at? And then I'm going to ask you guys an honest question. Think about it deeply inside your heart, okay? If instead of Abdullah was in that chair, if we
It's
had,
Mayor. It's Mayor.
Excuse me?
You would address him as the mayor.
Mayor Abdullah is in that chair. Okay,
Mayor
calm down.
who? Mayor who?
If Mayor Abdullah is in that chair, if it wasn't him and it was Mayor Hubbard, would you do the exact same thing, 7-0?
Your time has expired.
Okay, Mr. Nagy, you can stay up, because we could, because we're gonna answer some of the questions, and then we want you, in case you have something to rebut, we want to make sure we end it. So, first of all, to start first with the software. First of all, as far as drones, you do know there's no drones, right? We do not have, Fusus is not part of drones. I just want to make sure we get,
yes, yeah.
I know a lot of things are said, so I like to say the truth. There's no drones part of the Fusus program.
I get that, yeah.
Okay, so I know, but you said drones.
But my point was about the public, there's no privacy. So it means, if you use that argument, it means you or the police or anybody else, we could have drones flying and you say, oh, there's no privacy, it's for law enforcement. That was my point, not to say that there was drones. So
Okay, I know, but we're talking about Fusus.
We're on the same
You
page.
said we voted 7-0, and you want to know why, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so drones are not part of the Fusus program, number one. Number two, when you said about the cameras and private businesses and homes, you are aware that these people sign up for this voluntarily and say, we want you to have access to this. Are you aware of that?
I am aware of that, but I
Okay.
still have my concern about privacy.
I know, but I
I
understand.
am aware of that, yes.
I know, but the people need to be aware of that, because what's happening is you're saying that if 7-Eleven says, Dearborn Police, I want you to have access of my camera, so when there's a robbery, because I'm going to tell you why I voted for it. Because if you remember what happened in Texas a few years ago, why people stood outside, why kids got killed, that's not going to happen in Dearborn. I would vote for this if Mayor Guido, Mayor O'Reilly, or any mayor was in the mayor at the city of Dearborn. I want to make that abundantly clear, because I have children and I care about the safety and security. And I'm going to tell you something. If our officers are responding, just so you know, this is only a reactive when a 911 call comes in. then we get to turn on and see what's happening before we get there. So absolutely, I will vote for this, and absolutely I support it because it's safety. That's number one. Hold on, hold on,
It doesn't say
hold on.
reactive, Mr.
Hold on.
President.
It is a right of the business owner. By the way, the police officer could go right to 7-Eleven and say, I would like to have your camera footage. Let's say we didn't have this. They could say, I don't want to give it to you. We could then go to court order and get a court order and get it. So these businesses are saying, we want safety and security. So if there's a call coming in, you're more than welcome to see our video feed. So when our officers get there, they don't have to sit outside and wait while kids were getting killed like they did in Texas. So if you want the answer to that question, I'll vote for this every time it comes in front of me. No question.
Great. Do you think there is any potential for misuse of this technology?
No, I do not believe. I think if you signed up for it and you asked to be part of it, that's your choice. It's my choice. If I have a camera in my business and I want you to have access to it, I don't have to have access. I could tell you, no, I don't want to give you access. So you're talking about a volunteer program in which these people are saying, I want you to know. And I'm going to tell you something. I want our police officers to know what's going on when they're on a call going to it. I don't want them to get there and get ambushed. And I certainly don't want them sitting outside a classroom while there's an active shooter inside the schools.
1,000%, I agree with you 1,000%,
But you would have voted against it.
No, wait.
You would have voted against it,
I would
right?
have voted against it because, sir, you understand AI technology is very dangerous. When you start bringing software and merging it with all of this video and collection and surveillance, it is very dangerous. If potentially you have human beings, they will misuse it as time goes on. Maybe right here the chief, God bless him, okay, he is not going to misuse it. But we could have a situation where we have another chief, another person, and
Right.
it has a very high potential for misuse. So
I disagree. And you keep saying it's
Okay.
surveillance. It's not surveillance. Hold on. Surveillance would require us to fund people to sit there and watch that. Chief, can you bring us to light the difference between surveillance and a 911 call and our officers going to find out what's going on?
And real quick, is it
Hold
real
on,
time?
hold
Is it
on.
real time, though?
I'm running. Yeah, it's real time. What do you want? It delayed? We want to get there to make sure what's going on.
So
Of
that
course
is
it's real time.
surveillance. Go ahead.
That's not surveillance. Surveillance means you're viewing prior to a call. We're not mixing words around here. It's not how it works around here. We're going to say exactly what's happening. We don't play games in the city of Dearborn. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is not, surveillance means you're viewing something without someone else's permission, one, or with their permission, two. That's another part. You already acknowledge you have no expectation of privacy when you're driving down Ford Road. But hang on, surveillance would require us to have a staff sitting there watching. Chief, could you address these points so we can get this cleared up?
Issa Shaheen, Chief of Police. Thank you, Council President. It's kind of where do I start, right?
Surveillance, because the word keeps coming up, surveillance, and that's not the
It's not
case.
being actively surveilled. The permissions are entirely controlled by the person that voluntarily opts in. And so if they'd like to have live access or post-event sharing or no sharing at all, that's entirely up to the person that's opted in voluntarily. Understand something. The only time we have access is when somebody's called 911 because they need our help, because there's an emergency happening. Then and only then do we have live access. It's
So
like
we're not sitting there, because I'm not aware of
No.
anybody we're paying. Do we have a staff there watching all the channels?
No.
Of
It's-
course
We don't
not.
have, I mean, we have live access of our city cameras, but people that voluntarily sign up with the program, we only have access to the permissions that they set, Council President.
I understand that.
And
But
so
my
imagine-
point is, it's reactive once a call comes in.
Correct.
That's what's signed up for. I checked the contract.
So imagine if the schools, God forbid, had an active shooter.
We know this.
We would know exactly where that incident is happening in the school, and that live feed, sir, would be fed in not only to patrol cars, but to the officers' hands. That real-time situational awareness is so valuable. Seconds means people's lives. If you should have a shooting at a gas station and the gas station owner opts in, when that shooting happens or there's an incident, we have a live feed in real time. So instead of getting misinformation or direction of travel or what the person looks like, that information is fed directly into those scout cars. And to answer the question you posed, communities across this country that have employed it have seen decreases in crime. Nashville, Atlanta, in Indiana, all
Show
over
me
this
the
country.
study, please.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to have a conversation later date, but the information that's being put out over social media is just.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you, but I want to give the
Go ahead.
gentleman his answer, but I want to clarify
Sure.
surveillance aspect.
It's
You
not being
clarified
actively
that.
surveilled, Council
I
President.
don't understand that. And there's no drones running around,
We-
going through
we do
people's
not have
houses,
drones
or going
flying
through their
around.
backyards, or none of that. So I just want to make sure we're abundantly clear on what's really happening, because this program, I support it 100%. I think that we have to have the most technology necessary for our police officers and our safety and our security. And I would suggest that maybe, those that don't agree with it, go to the businesses and tell them, don't sign up for it. Okay? Because the University of Michigan actually donated, isn't that correct? Michigan
they have.
donated money to it.
So was the Henry Ford.
So did the Henry Ford, saying, please do it, because we want to make sure that if we have an incident, that your officers are going to be able to see what's going on and get there firsthand. So, and I don't see any negative in it whatsoever. And until you give me an example of why the AI is going to turn around and this is going to be abused, until I see that, I have no reason to believe that there's going to be anything but positives for our officers to know what they're going into before they get there.
I will provide that information, absolutely. I'll send it to you guys. Just,
Okay.
by the way, thank you for the.
But what is it, since you know it, what is it that you want to provide to us? I mean, you could tell us. I'd like to see it, but what is it?
The
What's
actual
wrong with it?
No, the actual report with AI, with artificial intelligence, how it's used by militaries, how it's used to figure out certain people, certain patterns, where they have the information. Like, I understand that behind it, it makes sense because you want to feel safe. I understand 1,000%.
Well, it's not just feeling safe.
If I may,
We get
Council
direct. Yes, Mayor.
Just real quick, it's the fact that you're opening up a Pandora's box. That's my concern. And when you
Okay.
have like a bunch of data, video data, that will be stored
We're
in
not,
one place.
We're not-
storing.
we don't store any
have-
data.
it's
That's
not our
another
data, It's the
misconception.
person's data. It's no different than your Ring doorbell that's stored in the cloud. If you should call us in that moment, we have access, and we don't store it. We don't have it, it's not something we're retaining.
With all due respect, that's what they said about the Patriot Act, and it was completely different. It was
Well-
used to spy on millions and millions of Americans, with all due respect.
Thank you,
guys.
okay, the Patriot Act was a congressional.
That analogy's a
Yeah,
stretch.
that's not even close. Mayor, go ahead.
Yeah. I think over the last few days, there's been a lot of misinformation that's been floating in a comparison to systems that are used, for example, in Gaza by the IDF, so on and so forth. And people took the word Axon and tried connecting it to some Israeli firms that are separate from this firm, the technology that's utilized to surveil Palestinians each and every single day. And I think it's gross negligence for those who have spoken up or put out statements trying to say that the city of Dearborn is now trying to offer camera feeds to the state of Israel, which is preposterous. And it's frankly disrespectful to a police chief who's married to a Palestinian woman, to my mother-in-law who grew up in a refugee camp, and to myself who volunteered and worked with the United Nations Relief Work Agency. So what is FUSIS and what is Axon? Axon provides us our body cams. In fact, when we went out for bid multiple years ago, there were two bids to provide us with body cams. It's Axon and it's Motorola. Those are the two options that you have. Motorola actually services our radios, like they have a monopoly pretty much on radios, and Axon, to your point, services about 95% of police departments across the country. As it pertains to FUSIS, FUSIS is actually a company out of Georgia that was acquired by Axon last year. This is not an Israeli company. I know some people have tried to insinuate this. FUSIS is not surveillance. Some would even try to compare this program to Detroit's green light program. And I would say that this is actually protects the privacy of residents and patrons more. Why? In the city of Detroit, the police department installs cameras onto businesses. They have 24-hour access to that feed. They own the data to that feed, and they share that feed with the agencies of their choice. Under this system, the city of Dearborn does not own any of the private businesses' cameras. In fact, they also own their data. So the way it would work is if they would like to subscribe, they can go online and subscribe on FUSIS today, regardless of the city. And they can put their settings and say, if I'm a gas station at Warren and Schaefer, if there's a stabbing or a shooting, I grant the police department a 1-hour viewing window. Can we download that data? Can we crop that data? Can we store that data? Can we save that data? The answer is no. Can you take that data without a warrant? The answer is no. We would have to ask them to send us the video footage as a part of an investigation, just as we would today. We'd require a warrant if it was a part of an investigation, if there was a refusal to offer that evidence, just as we would today. None of that changes. Is facial recognition technology a part of FUSIS? The answer is no. And so again, I think there's a lot of misinformation out there. And so then I also heard, for example, well, the police will be able to listen to your 911 calls. When you're calling 911, you are calling for police and fire. So yes, today our police and our dispatch and our fire can hear your dispatch call. That happens today. That is just the normal process of calling 911 because you are calling and asking for police and fire to respond to an emergency situation. So I certainly pray to God that they can hear the call of help coming in order for them to assist you to the best of their ability based on the fact that you called for the emergency service to come to your home. Do we have access to just start viewing camera feeds at private businesses who even signed up? The answer is no. Does Axon have access to that data? The answer is no. Do we sign up private residential home cameras? The answer actually is no. You can say you have a Ring camera at your house, and if a crime happens at your house, we come knock on your door and we say, hey, there was a crime across the street. Can you look at your footage and let us know if you captured anything on your footage? And if so, do you mind sharing it with us? That is how FUSIS works. Unfortunately, it is campaign season, and we have elections coming up in a few short months. And people are finding in any and every opportunity they can possible to try to create a wedge issue to drive people out with
It's
false
not a
information.
wedge issue with all due respect.
I'm still speaking.
Yes,
Thank you
okay.
so much.
It is not a wedge issue.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
And so the idea that some want to compare this to the NSA, as we heard previously, or to the Patriot Act, or that Abdullah Hamid, for some reason, screams free Palestine but wants to supply video footage to the IDF or Israel, I've never heard more preposterous things in my life. I can't believe that somebody would insinuate that the city of Dearborn would work or collaborate with the IDF or with the state of Israel, which in many is committing a genocide, and the IDF is a terrorist organization. And I'll say that. And I'm not here to say that in one respect and then try to provide them surveillance footage in another respect. And so let's all stick to the facts. Let's not get lost in social media messages and letters that get put out that are not backed in any information. And frankly, those that are seeking answers should come ask the questions, seek the answers, before putting out false statements, misrepresenting any and all of the facts, pushing out misinformation to sow chaos and create division. That is the stately manner in which you're supposed to act as a resident who's looking out for the best interests of their residents.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Ms. Shineji, you can stay right there because we have a couple more comments. Councilwoman
Can I
Harris.
just say one thing real quick?
Yeah, absolutely, go ahead.
Everybody's saying that it's not, you need to get the residents, you need to get their input, whatever. But when you look at their actual FUSIS itself, they brand themselves as a real crime live feed crime center.
It's
That's how
called
they brand
It's called
themselves.
a real-time crime center. Where does
That's
the
what they
real-time
call it.
come in? The
I know, but
real-time
Mr.
comes
Nagy,
in.
what
Pause
you're
1 second,
forgetting-
Council President, if I may.
Yeah, Mayor,
Where
go
does
ahead.
real-time crime center come in? Real-time means again, the station at Warren and Schaefer, we had a stabbing at that station. Real-time means when 911 call comes in and it says there is somebody that is actively being stabbed at the Warren and Schaefer gas station near this food truck, that live feed in real time will show up in the police dashboard, in their car, as well as wherever else. That is what it means by real time. Do we get to save it? Do we get to view it for 24 hours?
We got it,
Do you
Mayor.
think the answer is no?
We
You get
got
a
it. And
small
also-
window of
and-
opportunity to view it, and that is it.
Absolutely. And remember, again, I think it's, I don't want to beat the point home, but again, too, the businesses don't have to sign up for this. They don't have to. They're choosing to. Not only they're choosing to, we're having donations saying, we want to give you money to do it. We want Henry Ford and University of Michigan Dearborn also. So again, what I think, if you feel that this is a surveillance aspect, I think you should go around, knock on these businesses' doors and tell them, do not sign up for it. And they don't have to sign up for it. That's what I would do. So I got Councilwoman Herrick has a question, and if anyone else, Mr. Nagy, you could stay because in case you have to respond.
Thank you, Council President. I don't actually have a question, but I just wanted to reiterate that public safety is top priority for this council, speaking on my behalf, but I believe my colleagues would agree with me.
Yes.
Public safety is always at the forefront of our actions, and supporting our police and our
We agree
fire
1000%
department.
with that, by the
Excuse
way.
me, I'm
Mr.
speaking.
Nagy,
Thank
please,
you.
I will let you respond. I told you that. Yeah, please, let her finish. Okay.
And giving our police officers, our fire department, our first responders the tools that they need to best protect and serve our residents is always something that comes first, at least in my decision-making. But as we make those decisions, I don't think it's a wedge issue to say that privacy is always a consideration as well. That's something that I take very seriously, and when I read about things that might invade upon people's privacy, that's something that I take into consideration, and that's one of the things that we asked about as we were studying this product when the police department first came to us and said, this is something that will help us do our jobs better and protect and serve the public better. And everything that I heard led me to understand that this is not invading people's privacy. It is only used when there's a call for help in order to be able to help the people that are in need. And again, as Council President said, it's something the businesses sign up for. It's not something that we're putting in place, and they control access to the information when they want us to have it only. The other thing is when we make, when we purchase a product, if we learn that there is something, I know that there were concerns from the public about add-ons that could be added to this, what we have, the fuses that we have purchased. If that's something that our police department, they become aware of something that maybe will be of further use to us, that comes to us separately. That doesn't get added on without our knowing about it, and we would evaluate it at that time. Or if it seems that this product isn't meeting our needs, we can discontinue its use. So this isn't, set in stone forever and ever, but it's something right now that looks like the best product possible to provide what the businesses and the public are asking for to be able to be safe in an emergency situation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nagy. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Councilwoman Leslie, I really appreciate your comments. Very reasonable. You didn't say it was a wedge issue like Mayor Abdullah. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And that was actually very thoughtful, and thank you for that. The only thing I would ask or say is, if you're going to try something, I wouldn't sign a 5-year contract. I would at least try it out for a year or something like that, see how it works, and instead of doing a 5-year contract. But I really thank you for your comment. And by the way, 1,000%, we are all for police officers, and I'm one that is going to increase their budget and hire more police officers. So thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Just the way contracts
Mayor?
work is they're passed as 5 years with 1-year renewal. So each year you have a choice to renew or not.
Right, and exactly, we have always a way to cancel the contract, and we do this to stabilize our costs, so it's called smoothing and budgeting, which is part of the council's tenure too. And then, Mayor, I know that you mentioned this, and I wanted to bring it up before Councilman. I seen a report, I know that the mayor had leaked it, but said he wasn't there yet, where the city of Taylor, because I work in that city, is the first city in the state of Michigan to deploy where there is, because they don't have the fuses, where they can send on a 911 call a drone immediately above ahead to that situation. I know the mayor had mentioned that, but I know that the city of Taylor has also has put that in. Right. So when the 911 call is called, the drone goes right to the 911 to give visual aspect. So this is much less different, because that is in control of the government, where this one is a personal sign up. So, Councilman Paris.
Yes, Council President. Mic on?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity here. What I wanted to bring up is, I did have a lot of questions about fuses. And some of them were the privacy issues that were brought up by our Council President Pro Tem, and I appreciate that also. I did have some concerns. And I got to tell you, I've had a career in law enforcement. I've got kids that are in law enforcement, a son-in-law in law enforcement. Know a lot of police officers. I've been around a while. I'm a senior. I have learned as a police officer to question things, and then when you think you got the answer, when you're doing a preliminary examination on a subject or a crime, you ask another question that may lead to others. I want to be thorough in my determination whether I think fuses would be good for the police department and the city of Dearborn. And I'm going to tell you, it was brought up to me, and I got to be clear on this because people were able to probably watch the council meeting back in April. I have a couple questions too. First of all, we're talking about 4 months ago when this was voted on. There's a lot of people out here in the community that probably watched that council meeting and maybe become more informed on it. And I was, in fact, one of the council people that voted in favor of fuses. And it was tough for me because I have questions. I'm suspicious about things. I'm suspicious about government. And I'm going to tell you that. But what I will tell you is I did a lot of background on it. I did have some questions for clarification. I did bring it up during a mayor's briefing. I did bring it up during the committee of the whole. A lot of my concerns or my questions. And I got answers on some of these. okay? I did also suggest at the very end of the meeting that I'd like to have a 6-month report on fuses as it comes up and we get the numbers, how many businesses are involved, and I'd like to know the status of the use of fuses. Now, that's not because I'm overly concerned about it, it's because I want to know if it's effective. And I know the chief was able to mention some departments out there. There's over 250 of them, I know, that have been using this. So there's not a lot of broad number of years of use and data to be able to show how it has been implemented under Axon that was mentioned. It was only last year that came on board to take it over from fuses. But that product has been out there for a few years. I do have some concerns on it. What my concern was too, when I did ask these questions, it was brought up that we talked about this at a budget meeting the year before, briefly, but I seem to recall and looked at my notes that it was very, very brief discussion. It was still off into the future. Then we come up to our budget meetings this past year, earlier in the year, and it was discussed again. It was part of the budgetary process. A little bit of information there, so start stirring that, what is this all about? Didn't really look into it a lot. And I'll tell you why. I trust our police department. I trust our employees. I trust us here to go ahead and make these decisions, as they come up to us. And that was far from it at that particular time. So when it did come up and I saw it on the agenda, I had been studying it for a little bit and really at great length, watching other city council videos from other cities throughout the country and what they did and what kind of opposition that they were looking at. So I brought it upon myself to bring some of these very same questions up because I know that possibly sometime in the future, we were gonna be asked some of these questions so we could be prepared for it and I could make an informed decision also. So here it came time to go ahead and make a decision. Yes, I was one of the 7 members that voted for it. But again, I want to see how it's going to be implemented in real time and how we can go ahead and learn from it and how it's going to be used. I don't want it abused. There's a potential for abuse for anything, but I have confidence in our police department. I got confidence in our city and enough eyes that are on this that if it does come to a point that there is something wrong, then we're going to take immediate corrective action on it, whatever that may be at that particular time. Just another suggestion offhand too, as far as the privacy issue, I would like to see any of these businesses, I don't know how we could do it, but any of these businesses that are taking on this, that an ordinance.
That are
or
signing up.
Signing up for it.
The businesses that are signing up.
Right, the businesses that are signing up, that there should be some sort of a notification at the entrances to the businesses that you are under video surveillance.
Okay, again,
So I'm just bringing this up as a
Councilman
thought,
Pierce,
so-
I know, but you bring up a lot of stuff that's not on our purview. So let's just go over just real quickly so we can end this. If the business does not want to sign up, they don't have to sign up. Then, Mr. Romer, if you have to turn your microphone on, or if I could just say it again, and Mr. Nagy had said it himself, okay, and it's not just the law. You have no expectation of privacy when you're walking on the street. Okay, so when you say privacy concerns, you have no expectation of privacy in public buildings when you're out in the public, and that's not what the council president pro tem said. She said she had concern, and Councilman, if you wanted to say it, it was not about the
I
privacy.
take it into consideration when looking at things like this.
Exactly, but you have no expectation of privacy, again, so I want to make that abundantly clear, and Mr. Nagy had indicated early on, but it seems to get lost because we're wallowing off onto other things again, and as far as what you want posted and this and that, that's not how it works. That program is run by those people, and again, that's not the council's job. The council's job is to appropriate the funding, and like you said, you voted for it, and then you could vote against it next time or whatever you like. But at this point, that's the way the program runs, so if there's any other...
If I could on that comment though, Council President,
In regards
I will
to
say, in regards to what you just said,
Yeah.
I will tell you though, that it is in my purview to go ahead and make a comment or my thoughts on an issue that it's important to me and it's important to community members to hear what my position is on it. And for you to go ahead and make mention and putting words in front of everybody what my purview is, that's not your purview.
It is my purview. That's my job.
I had the floor to be able to speak.
Okay, Councilman,
That's
are
all
you
I'm
done?
going to say, and I
Absolutely.
appreciate the opportunity to
Councilman
have
Hamud?
spoken on this issue. Thank you.
Councilman Hamud?
Yeah, so I'm not going to repeat some other things, but I pulled up the original tweet that caused the whole problem, so I just wanted to address a couple things that, since we're going to use social media as our main source, let's just address a couple of other things. So one of the lines here about Axon claims to be pro-Palestine and supplies technology to the IDF. So just so you all know, Axon fuses sounds so mysterious. Here, I'll tell you the original name of the company. They were called Taser. They invented the Taser brand Taser. I don't think anyone ever confused Taser as a company that was like pro, I don't know, peace and hugs and stuff. You know, it's what they do is they provide non-lethal weaponry to police departments. And actually, I support the use of tasers. I think it's a great alternative to shooting people on the spot. And I think the police department also supports tasers, which is also why we bought the Taser brand body cams, because they happen to be the best on the market. And we actually get the best equipment on the market to support Dearborn Police. That's been a constant thing on this council. Anytime the police chief brings us something that we feel is gonna help save officer lives and protect the lives of the people who live here, you know, we tend to support it. So just to clear up what Axon is and what that company is, we buy a lot of their products because they're good. And they're used all around the country. Okay, so let's just clear that one up, one. Another thing, let's see, we already, surveillance hub, they need a warrant. I think a lot of this we've already covered.
Yes.
Approved in a private meeting. Was not approved in a private meeting. You can watch it on TV and there's meeting minutes, and just wanted to clear that up. There was nothing secret about it. And everybody is more than welcome to come to all our meetings, as everybody is here. And then spying on Muslims. Okay, so let's just talk about that for a minute. You brought up the Patriot Act. The federal government is spying on all of us. Let's just get that out of the way really clear. It's very clear. Edward Snowden, leaks, PRISM, all that stuff. Don't get confused with the federal government and your local state government. Your local state government does not get hardly any information from the feds. If you think that Donald Trump cares when someone breaks into a warehouse on Warren, no, he does not, okay? We don't get any information from the federal government. It is up to us in the city of Dearborn, this council, that police chief, and your mayor to protect this city from all the threats that face it, whether it be actual terrorism, people threaten us with terror attacks on a regular basis, we already know that. Whether it be internal, external, the feds do work here, we have to do work here. We do stings on drugs, we do stings on prostitution, we do all kinds of prosecution on car thefts on Warren Avenue or on Wyoming, right?
Yes.
So we have to deal with that, and it's up to us to secure the city from that. So when we have to go out and get all these systems, get all these tools, and get all these cars, and get all the surveillance, it's to protect the citizens in the city because no one else is going to protect us, and that's just a fact. Are there drones overhead? Yeah, there are. There are aircraft. People are monitoring the community all the time, but it's not your local government doing it. Anytime your local government does it, because of the administration that you all elected here, we do take privacy very seriously. That's why the contract is so airtight with these guys. That's just the truth. We would not, because of the values of the people up here, we would not approve a contract that allows people to do warrantless surveillance on you. I think that's like a very clear, if anyone's been watching our meetings for 4 years, you know, that's why I'm like kind of hyped up right now, because it's so offensive to me, some of the stuff that people say. I think it's quite clear. We live here. Remember that. The feds don't live here. We live here. And we care about our own rights as well. That's why we want the police to take permission. I don't even want police officers in my own home unless I invite them, right? So that's why it's so offensive that you guys would think we would give up our own rights here as your neighbors who literally live here to anybody.
I did not say that with all due respect, by the way.
I'm not you. I'm addressing the general concerns.
Okay.
So the point is, please, when people have concerns like this, come to meetings, ask, you know. We don't need accusations. We address a lot of things here at the council, and especially when it's coming from our own neighbors and our own friends. I get more upset when people who I personally know come ask me this than when people from out of town come and ask me a dumb question. I'm like, oh, maybe they're not from Dearborn. They don't know, whatever. But when people who have watched, as we had years of pro-Gaza and pro-Palestine protests, and not one incident. Meanwhile, in Ann Arbor, other cities, even in Michigan, they're getting literally batoned and tear gassed out of encampments. What do you guys think? It's magic that didn't happen? No, it's because you elected a council that holds your police department accountable. It's because you elected a mayor with empathy, you know? Yes, participate in the democratic process. Yes, it's important who gets into office, 100%. But please, if you have problems, just come to us. We're here. We're here to address it. We're very transparent. But please, especially when you're our friends and our neighbors, just come ask. That's all I'm asking.
Thank you, thank you. Mr. Nagy, I just want to make a point. You're speaking in general, not to Mr. Nagy. I asked you to stay just in case there was a question, but we have the chief following up for last, so just one more second. Chief?
Yes, thank you. I just have one final comment. I was asked if there's ever any proof to, why we invested in this technology. And for me, if you all remember the splash pad shooting that we had out in Rochester Hills last year, Sheriff Bouchard himself said live 911 technology provided a quicker response after the shooting. A sergeant who was in that area heard the actual 911 call and immediately self-deployed and got there within a minute and a half of the actual call, even before it went out over the radio.
Wow.
He says seconds matter in life-threatening or dangerous situations. And having the live 911 operation allows our folks to hear it and go in a more expeditious fashion, he said. You know what? It paid for itself, in my opinion, on Saturday.
Absolutely.
So that's why I wanted to make that investment as well.
No, we do appreciate it, Chief. We appreciate you bringing it forward, and we do understand there is concerns that are not taken lightly. We just try to clear up the truth, the real truth, because there's only one, in this city, there's only one version of the real truth. It's what's really truthful, and we want to make sure it's clear. So I wanted to make sure we did bring that forward. Thank you so much. Shinaji, thank you for your comments. I know we expired our 30 minutes time, but I have one more card I'd like to bring forward that was waiting, Mr. Adib Mozib, and then we're going to move to our agenda. Sorry, sir. Yeah, give me 1 second. Okay, 1 second, sir. You have to fill out one of these cards. Just give us 1 second. We have one gentleman ahead of you.
Well, good evening, councilmen and women and mayor. I'm here. My name is Adib Mozib. I live in Lansing Avenue. I'm here to address you about the condition of our street. Lansing Avenue between Maple and Shaver is in a very poor condition with enormous deep potholes, uneven surface, and structural deteriorations. And water stands in the streets days after rain, creating mosquitoes and full odors that cause hazards to the residents. The potholes that exists and continue to get bigger and bigger each year cause us to damage to our cars. This is not new. I mean, I inquired about this back in 2000 with Chief Engineer Yunus Patel, and he informed me back then in an email that our street is slated for 2025. We waited our line and we stayed until last year. I inquired with Director Tim Hawkins, and he came out last year in April and May to look at our street, and he agreed that it's in a bad condition. He also informed me later that the water mains also qualify for replacement because it was built in 1924. So I kept in contact with him to make sure this is going to be addressed this year. And also, in one of the community functions, I saw Councilman Sawafi, and he was asking, I told him about the situation. He stopped by as well, and he looked at the condition of the street. The mayor, talked to the mayor as well, and he told me back in April that our street will be in construction soon. But recently we were informed that that's not the case. It's going to have to wait until next year because of the cost of construction increased. Although when you look at this, I looked at the city statements budget, the street fund had a $4.4 million balance at the end of last year. Is projected to have a $5.2 million at this year. That's what the statement says on your budget website. So these are local roads funds dedicated for the streets. I will pass along to you.
Please.
Yeah, I will pass along to you. The first page is what was the project intended to happen this year with our street slated to be resurfaced, and then some pictures as well from the street, and the map that was referenced back in 2000 as this. So we're here to ask the administration to reconsider the decision and replace and address our street this year, and for the council to support with any support of funding or otherwise. And thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Moser. I need a, Mr. Rome, I know we went past the time, so I need a motion to extend. There was one gentleman, a motion by Councilman El Sawafi, supported by Councilwoman Herrick, to suspend the rules and extend the time. Thank you, Mr. Moser.
And can I say one? I want to acknowledge my fellow residents who came along today too, because
from the street.
When I've been telling them over the years, I've been in contact with the city. We're telling them it's going to happen, and actually, one of the councilmen used to live in the same street, so he's familiar with it as well.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Moser. We appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, and we can speak
Mayor?
to it if Tim Hawkins wants to come forward as well. And so, when I spoke earlier in the year with Mr. Mozip, Dr. Mozip, excuse me, we conveyed that it's slated for 25, contingent obviously on funding. And so Tim can speak to it. It's 100% slated for 26. I think the 5-year PACER study that they gave you back in 2020 when I spoke with Eunice, former city engineer Eunice Patel, we went out for a bid on the bulk project, so we are commencing work on Schaefer and Prospect area. What that also includes is the full redesign of Schaefer and Prospect, plus the underground water line changes on many of the streets, and Tim will speak to those. Then the other consideration, in addition to the road plus the water line, is also the number of lead line replacements that exist. On Lanson, there are 3 lead lines in total. On the area that we're currently doing right now, there's a little over 100. And so one of the considerations for, it's a 2-year project that we're starting on Schaefer and Prospect. Yours is encompassed within next year's project. And so one of the reasons for just falling to, the wayside one more year is because of the number of lead lines when we're going to create the formula for how we replace. But also when you look down to the money that we're budgeting, and maybe Michael Kennedy could speak to this, sometimes you'll see an allocation towards a fund balance in order for us to do a large swath of a neighborhood when we go in. And so Tim can speak to the projects this year and kind of speak to what happened with Lansing as well.
Thank you. Tim Hawkins, Director for the Department of Public Works. This gentleman is absolutely correct. Since 2000, it was slated to be replaced.
Right.
We even spoke last year about it.
Right, he said
I
that.
went to his house and,
Right.
and reviewed it. The issue that we had is, number one, our Act 51 dollars, which we do the road replacement on, is not matching the dollar amount to replace the roads as it has been in the past. It is exponentially more, and we have gained no more funds from the state. The second side of it, something that had to be added into the evaluation, we had a new PASER rating done. But the amount of water main breaks in areas in the city made us put that in as a factor in the equation. It wasn't the same equation being calculated out in 2000 as it was in 2025, 2024, 2023, all of them, they account for it. We've had as many as 60 breaks in a month.
Yep.
Right? So we had to factor that in too. So that's why we actually moved across Schaefer Road. We're doing a large section. It just happened to match up with our lead line requirements, which we have to meet the mandate by Eagle to do 500 lead line replacements a year. So with the 3 on Lanson and the limited number of water main breaks, yes, they've been waiting a considerable amount of time, but it was reevaluated with a dollar amount to hit lead lines, water main breaks.
Right, there was addition. In 2000, there was no lead lines, which is a
No.
state mandate, unfunded.
Unfunded.
It is unfunded, so that's why it was reconfigured.
Right.
It is bumped to 2026. I wish we could get it in, but it's just not possible.
Yeah. And it's 100% guaranteed for 26 as it pertains to trying to go back out for bid now to try to include Lanson. The short answer is no, and it's the worst answer I can give. I know it's not the answer you want to hear. Why? Because we go out for bid months in advance to try to secure the best possible pricing on bulk construction projects. On top of that, all the construction will basically move across Schaefer, or Prospect, forgive me, in the year to come on phase 2, in addition to continuing on what we're currently doing around all of Meshed that I'm right now, with the full, complete redesign of Schaefer and Prospect that's happening. The other additional things is that we also included on our infrastructure list was we're beginning to try to pave the alleyways. And so this is a multi-million-dollar expense that council also supported throughout the process. And so we're commencing with paving, for example, a portion of Rulo alleyway this year between Rulo and Salina Street. And that project alone is several hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so we're doing our best with the dollars that we have, stretching them out. Obviously, the cost of construction between 2000 and now is drastically different. We're hoping that the state of Michigan does come to some solution on a new road funding formula that does provide locals more road dollars.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Moser, do you have anything else?
Questions, they can answer them now or later.
That's fine, go ahead.
One is, when did Lansing actually was moved out of the current bids? Was it moved earlier this year? Because the mayor just said it's not part of the bids that were exist. To go back now to put it in a bid is gonna kind of require another.
No, it was around December, when we started getting the mass amount of water main breaks, the dollar amount to make those, the issues that we were having supplying clean, fresh drinking water. That was put in as part of the equation before we went out to bid.
I think, I don't know if you're answering my question. I'm asking, when was Lansing Avenue? Because if you can see the map that you sent me with the red kind of was included in this project.
We can
that's
ask
been
the
doing.
city engineer and the
I
deputy
think
engineer.
you're asking when the.
Correct.
formula was
We
correct.
can
Yeah, I think
ask
he thought you meant the state. You meant the street.
Yes.
We'll ask the city engineer.
The other thing is, I think you all welcome to drive in the street and look at it. I don't think there is a street that look like it inside Dearborn. Welcome to drive in it, and look at it firsthand. So when I hear there's this, now we're going even to alleys to fix them, and we're not fixing the street that look worse than an alley, that's an issue that for me is fairness, that we've been waiting for 5 years and we're not getting it. And where we promised for next year, I don't buy that, because we heard multiple times it's gonna happen this year. Next year may be no more fundings, no administration. We don't know what happened to next year. We are hoping you guys can tonight or this week reconsider and take action and fix the road this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mosley. Councilman Herrick?
Just a couple of questions. The photographs that were provided to us show that as much as putting patches on is not what the solution, what you're looking for, obviously.
Correct.
But there are a couple spots there, it looks like that it does need to be patched, and there's a sewer grate that actually has a sawhorse over it that could be, a hazard for somebody walking or riding a bike, as well as some of the holes there. So it looks like if, at the very least, it needs to have some attention given to more patching. And Dr. Mosep, I take to heart your comment about prioritizing alleys over streets, where we have people driving and walking and riding bikes every day. Unfortunately, sometimes it makes sense to hold off on one project to finish another, but I think that what you're talking about should be taken into consideration as these decisions are made on what should be postponed until the next year. So thank you.
And that thing on the whatever the sign has been there for like 4 months, just
Right.
standing there. So
Yeah, I think
it's
that's
a
there so
dangerous
someone doesn't
safety.
go over it because they'll
Right.
get hurt. It's actually a warning. Is that correct, Ms. Director?
Yes, it is, and it's on the pavement repair list. That's when we do
It's on-
catch basins and
Right.
sewers, and that just started July 1st.
Excellent.
So we actually have 176 of them on the list. We're going through and repairing them all. Some of them have been there up to 8 or 9 months, because you can't do it in the middle of winter, and we have to cross July to get the new contract. And as far as the alley, one of the main reasons that the alley was there is the amount of sewer connections. The taps. The
Right.
taps on the street that was selected are almost at like a 60% failure rate. So those residents will have to dig those up
Yeah.
to
No, the
make
council-
the taps.
I mean, I don't, but I don't want to go off on a tangent. We did this during budgeting because I'm the one that indicated we have 5 miles each year based on the rating going bad, and we're only doing 2 miles a year. We're trying to catch up, and I
Yep.
understand, well, you never catch up when you have 5 bad, 2 good. It's never make the sense. So we're well aware of that. We talked to our state rep. We're trying to get some more funding. So we do understand that, but we also are fully aware about the rating that is done independent, and we are aware that
Yep.
when you have water main breaks and more tap failures, that there's going to be additional aspects, and they do take priority, but we have to get this done. So I'm sure, like the mayor's indicated, that this will be slated for next year aspect. Councilman Al-Sawafi?
Thank you, Council President. Director, just for simple terms and just for residents at home and for the audience, so we had a pot of money, and some of it was supposed to go to Lansing Avenue, but we couldn't use some of that money for Lansing Avenue because it was used for the water main breaks. Is that correct?
No, for repairing roads where we have up to 60 water main breaks,
Okay.
where Lansing had 3.
Got it. So repairing the roads where the water main broke during the winter time.
Correct.
So are we paving any roads this year?
Oh, yeah.
with that?
Yes, we
with
are.
that? Okay, and what?
We received, that. We received that
Okay.
as a staff, yeah.
Okay, and because I walk this street, and I don't think there's a worse street in the city of Dearborn. So, and if we did get that list, I'd like to see the list of which streets are going to be done over this one right here, because.
It's before you right now in the documents provided. So you're looking at Calhoun,
Right, it's
Bingham,
all there.
Jonathan,
Okay,
Leonard.
Also, Lansing is in front of me as well,
No,
correct?
I understand that, but you obviously just heard that Lansing got pushed to next year.
Okay,
So if
so
you look
why-
at this diagram,
Okay.
the only
My-
thing that was
I
taken off was
understand.
Lansing.
That's the
Correct.
document I saw. But my question was, why would that be pushed, Lansing be pushed, and the other ones not pushed? Because I don't think the other ones are in a worse shape.
And so if you're
And if
just.
that's the case, we'd just like to see that.
So I think
justification.
you're visually looking at the surface of the road. You're not taking into account water mains, sewer, catch basins.
Lead
you know,
lines.
Lead lines, all these different items that are an assembly to a replacement of a street. You can't walk a road and possibly say that that's the worst, because you're not looking at the envelope, the entire thing.
Sure.
And that's how it is judged. And that is why Lansing got pushed, because their entire envelope is better than some other streets. That is how. That is how it is
And
decided.
envelope, when you mean envelope, you're talking about underneath, which is not visible to the naked eye.
Correct.
You're talking about
Correct.
engineering and so on.
Correct.
Sure, right. So you have
Water,
that.
sewer, catch basins.
Got it.
Yep.
So you have that justification on why, for
Yes,
example, Calhoun.
absolutely.
The city engineer makes the call, yeah.
Got
Yes.
it. Can you send that to all councils, please? Because
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Why that was chosen. Because
No
I'm
problem.
sure the underground of Lansing is just as bad as the other ones.
It is
But
not.
I'd like to see that as well. So thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, Councilman Hamud, you had, or no, you good?
Well, I do want to see, I'm just funny.
Do you have
because-
something or no?
No, I just didn't realize people can assess the
Okay, Councilman-
underground of a road just by looking at the surface.
I know.
But anyway, I think it's funny because I recognize potholes there from when I was a kid. So I think it
It's
is
a bad
time for
road. I don't think anybody
for a
debates it's
surface
not a- it's a
replacement.
bad road.
Right, I know. So that's why I think just to talk about a little bit of what we talked about, I think if we've already changed the bid spec for this year, I personally do understand why it's going to take an additional year to get to it. It's something that we brought up a million times in budget, not to repeat what Council President Sereni said, but just to explain to people, every year we are not bringing in enough money to actually maintain the roads, especially in single-family neighborhoods. And it's an ongoing issue, not just for us, but for cities all around the country. Actually, Dearborn happens to be in a pretty good situation where we generate more tax revenue than a lot of other cities around us. Go look at Melvindale, go look at Dearborn Heights, go look at, Inkster, right? I'm not, we don't like those cities for a variety of reasons, but one of them is they don't have the tax dollars to even upkeep their neighborhoods the way that we do. So, and yes, we know that there's been neglect in the east end of Dearborn for a very long time, and we're trying to catch up on it. But like Council President had said, we only are able to replace about 2 miles of roads, and we out of 5 that go bad every year, and we have to prioritize ones that have the most bang for your buck, which I think is what everybody here wants us to do, which is, hey, how can you get me the best services for what little amount of money you have? And unfortunately, sometimes that does mean we have to overlook aesthetics, like the stuff on the outside, the pretty stuff, and do the stuff that's underground, because that's what's even more important. I think everybody cares even more about clean water making it to their house, their basements not getting flooded, and, electricity making it to their home. So that's why we have to sometimes prioritize the longer term aspects more than just the surface that is bad, unfortunately.
And just to
All right, thank you.
conclude.
Yeah, I know, just to clarify, that decision is not made by the council. That's an
Right.
engineering decision that decides based on it, because as we indicate, the surface is just one part. And I don't disagree that it's bad, and don't disagree that as a taxpayer, that was all that I would care about. But the fact is, we're having the data indicating that it's not just the service, it has several components throughout the rest of it. So, and that is a decision of engineering.
Correct.
So
And I
Councilman
just want to conclude on that remark, if I may, from my
Yeah.
perspective at least.
No, absolutely. Thank you,
I
Mayor.
spoke with Dr. Moslip earlier in the year, obviously eager to get this project done. And when I got the call that Lansing wasn't on the list, it was a shock to me myself. And so to the questions that you have, we'll ask the city engineer and the deputy engineer to provide the overall assessment that we can share.
All right, Councilman Enos. You're on.
I'm on? Okay, good. What's the average of water main breaks in a year or during the wintertime? Do we have one?
It depends. Depends on temperature. Like last year we were into a couple hundred throughout the year. I mean, we had 60 in 1 month in one area. So really, it really depends. Some years we're maybe 50 to 100. Some years we're like 300.
It's temperature dependent, plus the GLEWA shifts the pressures onto the
Right.
system, which ultimately
But-
create a lot of water main breaks at
But
joints.
it's age of water main. GLEWA's pressures, as the mayor had said. You know, it's how long it's cold, how long it's hot.
So a couple
They're
hundred.
breaking right now in 100-degree.
Yeah, the answer's almost 200.
Yep.
No, absolutely, yeah. Right. And you can't, when you get that, you have to address it, so I get
And
it.
Doctor, it's on Schaefer and Maple?
Yeah, it's Maple to Schlaf.
It's on-
Lansing Avenue.
Yeah,
Okay.
Maple to Schlaf, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
All
Thank you.
right.
And I just want to add a couple.
Yes.
One, you here have the power to change things and move things. If you want to, you have, I just said, you have $5 million sitting in that balance projected this year in your budget. I looked at it this morning on your website. So if you want to do it, you can do it. You can allocate the fund tonight, this week, and get it done. You know, saying it has to wait, get next year and just waited, it's not satisfying for the residents. I've been telling them this year, I'm not a politician, I don't like to lie. I've been telling them every time I'm talking, they're gonna get it done this year. And now to get to know that it wasn't even, I don't know if it's December, or April, May, when it was taken out of the project without even knowing, that's, to be honest, you know, disappointed. So you have the power, you can make changes, you have the money. The residents are asking you to take care of the street. It's a basic need. We're fed up with it, honestly. You know, when you drive in my street, my car just vibrate throughout from the beginning to the end. All my friends, when they visit me, they make fun of me. This is your street, because there's no streets. Yes, maybe the envelope, all of those things, I understand, but we're judging by the surface. I will bet anyone to show me a street that looked like this inside the city of Dearborn in the surface. There's
Thank you.
none.
Thank you,
So
Mr.
thank
Wilson.
you.
Thank you, Director Hawkins. Okay, I know we extended our time. We had one gentleman that was here, Nasser Mohsen? Mr. Mohsen was here? Okay, at this time, he might have left. At this time, we're going to close the public comment portion. And before we move to the consent agenda, are there any items in which any member would like to remove from the consent agenda and discuss individually? Hearing none, Mr. Clerk, you may proceed.
Yes, a resolution in need of offer and support approving all the items on the consent agenda and requesting immediate effect.
Offered by Councilman Eno, supported by Councilwoman Herrick. Mr. Clerk, can we have a roll call vote?
Councilmember Enos?
Yes.
Councilmember Hamud?
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham?
Yes.
Councilmember Paris?
Yes.
Councilmember El Sawafi?
Yes.
Councilmember Herrick?
Yes.
Council President Sereni?
Yes.
Resolution passes, and we will move on to item number 34.
34, all right. Go ahead.
Item 34, resolution by council members Abraham and Enos approving the minutes of the previous regular meeting of July 15th, 2025.
Okay, are there any additions, deletions, or modifications to these minutes? Okay, hearing and seeing none, unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 35, resolution by council members Enos and Abraham approving the minutes of the previous special closed meeting of July 16th, 2025.
Are there any deletions or additions or modifications to these minutes? Any objection to the unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached.
Item number
Next
30
item.
Item number 36, ordinance on the table, ordinance number 25-1850, an ordinance to amend section 9.02 of ordinance number 061111 of the city of Dearborn by rezoning the property located at 5146 Porath from an RB, one family residential district, to a VP vehicle parking district zoning classification. Resolution by council members Enos and Hamud to take from the table for its final reading.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. A unanimous roll shall be attached to take for the table for its final reading. The proposed rezoning on 5146 Porath Street will correct an inconsistent zoning pattern in this area and facilitate a better design for their overall treatment and recovery center campus. The zoning currently is RB. The proposed zoning is VP. And the Planning Commission recommended approval on this on June 9th, 2025. This is the second and final reading of this ordinance. Any questions or comments on this? Okay, Mr. Clerk, can we have the final reading?
This is the final reading of ordinance number 25-1850, an ordinance to amend section 9.02 of ordinance number 061111 of the city of Dearborn by rezoning the property located at 5146 Porath from an RB to a VP zoning classification.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Roll call vote, please.
We'll start with Councilmember Paris.
Yes.
Councilmember El Sawafi.
Yes.
Councilmember Herrick.
Yes.
Council President Sereni.
Yes.
Councilman Enos.
Yes.
Councilmember Hamud.
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham.
Yes.
7 yeas, 0 nays, the ordinance passes.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next item.
Item number 37, ordinance number 25-1851, introduced by Councilmember El Sawafi. Synopsis, an ordinance to amend section 9.02 of ordinance number 061111 of the city of Dearborn by rezoning the property located at 16030 Michigan Avenue from an OS business office to a BA local business zoning classification. Resolution by Councilmembers Paris and Hamud to table the ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And the request to rezone 16030 Michigan Avenue from OS Office Business District to BA Local Business District. The uses permitted in the OS District are primarily limited to administrative and professional offices. The rezoning of this property will permit a variety of uses to help repurpose and reutilize the existing vacant structure and serve the needs of the adjacent residential neighborhood as well. The proposed rezoning is consistent with the parcel's future land use designation for mixed-use centers and shop fronts. The Planning Commission recommended approval of this request on July 7, 2025, and the Planning and Zoning Division also recommends this approval as well. This has been very consistent what we've been doing in the past many years. Dearborn has a tremendous amount of office buildings and office designations that limit use specifically to office. Those work from home and the change throughout the country that's been happening is making us have to adapt to better uses for these buildings. So this is something we've been doing throughout the city, moving into a local business district. Any questions or comments? Okay, this is the first of two readings. Mr. Clerk, can we have the first reading?
This is the first reading of ordinance number 25-1851, an ordinance to amend section 9.02 of ordinance number 061111 of the city of Dearborn by rezoning the property located at 16030 Michigan Avenue from an OS to a BA zoning classification.
All right, any questions or comments on this? Any objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 38, ordinance number 25-1852, introduced by Councilmember Paris. Synopsis, an ordinance to amend the occupancy and building standards chapter 11 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn to remove existing regulations for non-owner occupied rentals from their current location in the Code of Ordinances with a delayed effective date of January 1, 2026. Resolution by Councilmembers Enos and Hamud to table the ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The proposed amendment removes an existing regulations for non-owner occupied rentals from their current location in Chapter 11 of the Code of Ordinances. These same regulations are being relocated in a new chapter, a new part of Chapter 11, and that was recently adopted by the short-term rental regulations that take effect January 1st, 2026. This is the first of two readings. Any questions or comments? Okay. Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item. Oh, no, first reading. First reading. I apologize.
Okay. This is the first reading of ordinance number 25-1852, an ordinance to amend the occupancy and building standards chapter 11 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by removing existing regulations for non-owner occupied rentals from the current location in the Code of Ordinance with a delayed effective date of January 1, 2026.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. Any objections to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item number 39, ordinance number 25-1853, introduced by Councilmember Abraham. Synopsis, an ordinance to amend the traffic and motor vehicle chapter 18 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by amending section 18-364.1 to allow enforcement by economic development inspectors. Resolution by Councilmembers Enos and Paris to table the ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The Vehicle Tarping Ordinance, Section 18-136.1, prohibits parked vehicles in the city to be tarped and subject to limited exceptions. Under a separate ordinance in 19-147, only the police department is authorized to enforce provisions of Chapter 18 of the Code of Ordinances where the vehicle tarping ordinance is actually located. The proposed amendment authorizes Economic Development Department to enforce the vehicle tarping ordinance, which allows the economic development inspectors to actually do this, and they are better equipped to address this program. This is the first of 2 readings. Any questions or comments on this item? Okay, Mr. Clerk, can we have the first reading?
This is the first reading of ordinance number 25-1853, an ordinance to amend the traffic and motor vehicle chapter 18 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by amending section 18-364.1 to allow enforcement by economic development inspectors.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Clerk. The American Muslim Society is requesting approval to hold a special outdoor health fair at, is that the wrong one? Mr. Clerk?
I haven't read that one yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. So you read the final reading.
Yeah.
I apologize. My fault. You read the first reading of item 39?
Correct.
Okay, any questions or comments regarding that? Any objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. I apologize. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Item 40, resolution by council members Hamud and El Sawafi granting the request of the American Muslim Society for a temporary use of land permit to host an outdoor health fair at its privately owned parking lot located at 9945 Werner Highway from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, August 30th, 2025. Also authorizing a noise waiver for the duration of the event and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The American Muslim Society, or AMS, is requesting approval to hold a special outdoor health fair in its privately owned parking lot on 9945 Werner Avenue in Dearborn, South End at 48120. This is a free event that will be held on Saturday, August 30th, 2025 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The AMS recognizes that access to health care and wellness resources is critical for a community need. The fair will promote cultural wellness as well as a community offering free screening, educational resources, and information about healthy living habits. AMS anticipates approximately 20 diverse healthcare providers to be in attendance. This event is open to the public, and AMS strongly expects strong attendance from the residents of all ages and all backgrounds. It is requested that the council approve this item with immediate effect. Any questions or comments on this item? Okay, any objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 41, resolution by council members Enos and Hamud authorizing the use and closure of West Village Drive between east and west parking decks adjacent to the Peace Park West, and the use and closure of the basement level with both the east and west parking structures in the WDDA from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Friday, September 26, 2025, for the Dearborn Coffee Week opening event. Also authorizing a noise waiver for the duration of the event, and that these approvals be extended to a rescheduled date if needed, and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. So the next 5 items are some upcoming events that we are having in our downtown, so bear with us if we mention them. These are all tremendous events and were done in the past. So this particular item is approval to request the Dearborn Coffee Week opening event on September 26th. They're asking for a street closure on West Village Drive and the parking deck access as well as a noise ordinance waiver. In case of, they're also asking for, in case of cancellation, a weather date can be permitted to be changed by the West DDA as requested. And of course, immediate effect is also being requested. Any questions or comments on the Coffee Week? It went very, very well last year, I can tell you that.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Great Coffee Week. All right, any objection, unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 42, resolution by council members El Sawafi and Paris authorizing the use and closure of the John Nagy parking lot and use of the new Peace Park East in the EDDDA from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Friday, October 3rd, 2025 for the Dearborn Coffee Week closing event. Also authorizing a noise waiver for the duration of the event, and that these approvals be extended to a rescheduled date if needed, and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Again, this is just an item for the closing event on October 3rd, 2025 of Dearborn's Coffee Week. Also, they're asking and requesting a waiver of a noise ordinance and a closure of parking lot in John Nagy lot from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., as well as a rain or condition weather cancellation removal as well. Any questions or comments on this? Any objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 43, resolution by council members Hamud and Paris authorizing the use and closure of Maple Street from Michigan Avenue to Wellesley Street and the use and closure of the John Nagy parking lot from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Friday, October 17th, 2025 for the East Dearborn Downtown Fall Bazaar event. Also authorizing a noise waiver for the duration of the event, and that these approvals be extended to a rescheduled date if needed, and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And the following success of the 2024 Fall Family Fun Day, which drew over 1,000 attendees, the East Dearborn Downtown Authority plans to expand the event with the Downtown Dearborn Fall, how'd you say that, George?
Bazaar.
Bazaar on October 17, 2025. This new event will be evening marketing with our vendors, entertainment, and activities aiming to showcase the district and engaging residents and others and attendees of all ages. To support the event, the East Downtown Authority is requesting a street closure on Maple, as well as a closure of parking lot and a waiver of noise ordinance. Any questions or comments on this? Okay, unanimous vote shall be attached. Next item.
Item 44, resolution by council members Enos and El Sawafi, authorizing the use and closure of Maple Street from Michigan Avenue to Wellesley Street and the use of the closure of the John Nagy parking lot from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday, October 18th, 2025 for the East Dearborn Downtown Fall Family Day event. Also authorizing a noise waiver for the duration of the event, and that these approvals be extended to a rescheduled date if needed, and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. This is another event that's happening in our East Downtown Authority, the Downtown Dearborn Fall Family Day on October 18, 2025. To ensure the success of the event, they're asking for, again, a parking lot closure as well as a noise waiver and a change date as necessary. Any questions or comments on this? Stay tuned to our website and social media regarding all these events. They really do a good job putting those out. Okay, unanimous vote shall be attached. Next item.
Item 45, resolution by council members Enos and Hamud authorizing the use and closure of West Village Drive between the east and west parking structures, the closure of the basement of the east parking deck from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday, December 13th, 2025 for the WDDDA West Dearborn Downtown Development Authority 3rd Annual Jingle Bell Bash event. Also authorizing a noise waiver for the duration of the event, and that these approvals be extended to a rescheduled date if needed, and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And this is the final event we have on this agenda. It's the Jingle Bell Bash to be held on December 13th at the Peace Park West. Brings holiday cheer and community spirit to West Downtown. It's already holiday times on this, so we need a few more days of that sun and heat, but it's coming. We have to plan for it. So they will have many things such as s'mores, stations, photos with Santa, character greetings, and face painting. It's the favorite for my grandkids. The event will also partner with our local institutions such as the Dearborn Historical Museum and our public library as well. To ensure this is a successful event, the West Downtown Authority is asking for a street closure on West Drive, parking deck closure, and a noise waiver as well as a change date for weather. Any questions or comments on this? Okay, unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 46, resolution by council members El Sawafi and Paris, authorizing the finance director or designee to recognize donations from KW Legacy Keller Williams in the amount of $5,000, and to appropriate the donations toward various West Dearborn Downtown Development Authority events, including the Dearborn Summer Market, Pilates in the Park, Dearborn Coffee Week, Trick or Treating, and Jingle Bell Bash, in the amount of $1,000 each, and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The West Downtown Authority Development received a donation of $5,000 from KW Legacy Keller Williams, a business in West real estate office in West Downtown Dearborn. We'd like to thank them very much for this, and they're asking this is the council to appropriate $5,000. And for each of these, Dearborn Summer Market, $1,000, Pilates in the Park, $1,000, Dearborn Coffee Week, $1,000, Trick or Treating, $1,000, which was a hit last year, Jingle Bell Bash, $1,000 as well. So we'd like to thank KW Legacy Keller Williams Real Estate Office and Michael Phillips, the director over there. I asked him if he could make it today. He could not make it to be here, but as I indicated before, we'd like to thank the businesses for supporting these tremendous programs that we're having for the city and giving back to their community. Any questions or comments? Okay, unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 47, resolution by Councilmembers El Sawafi and Paris awarding a best source competition exemption contract to Sewing Your Life LLC in the amount up to $50,000 for sewing education courses as part of the Dearborn Works, which stands for Women's Opportunity to Realize Their Knowledge and Skills Grant through April 30th, 2027, and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. This is a great program. As the clerk indicated, this $1 million grant for Dearborn Works, which is Women Opportunity to Realize Their Knowledge and Skills, funded by a U.S. Department of Labor Act grant. And this initiative supports entrepreneurship, skill development, and self-sufficiency. Sewing Your Life LLC, founded by Nasmeen Sharif, a former fashion instructor from the country of Yemen, and Dearborn Works boot camps educated, has trained over 30 community members and recently secured a permanent location at the Dix Verner corridor. This is a great story. She was here earlier this year as well. The program will offer application-based beginning and intermediate sewing classes, equipping up to 15 participants with skills relevant to their garment and textile industries. The city will provide supplies and materials in accordance with the approved Department of Labor budget requirement for the grant. The Department of Economic Development, in coordination with purchasing, recommends awarding Sewing Your Life LLC a contract up to $50,000 good through April 30th, 2027 under the Best Sole Source Competition Exemption. Any questions or comments on this item? Any objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 48, resolution by Councilmembers Hamud and El Sawafi authorizing to extend the contract with Magnet Forensics in the amount of $57,110 for continued use of Gray Key mobile data extraction of licenses by the police department, resulting in a new expiration date of August 8th, 2026, and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The Magnet Gray Key tool is a leading digital forensic solution that enables law enforcement to quickly extract encrypted or inaccessible data from mobile devices, providing critical evidence to support investigations and expedite prosecutions. The police department, in coordination with purchase, recommending extending the contract to Magnet Forensics for continued use, of Gray Key mobile data extraction licenses. The current contract expires on August 7th. The proposed extension will run through August 8th of 2026 at the cost of $57,110, reflecting an increase of only 4% over the previous year. Any questions or comments? Any objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 49, resolution by Councilmembers Enos and Paris authorizing to extend the contract with Just Air in the amount of $39,700 for continued air quality monitoring services through August 2026 and requesting immediate effect.
All right, as a historically industrial city, that Dearborn faces ongoing air quality challenges, particularly in the South End. In 2023, the Department of Public Health partnered with Just Air to install 10 air quality monitors citywide, providing residents with real-time data to support information of public health interventions and promote environmental transparency. The department, in coordination with purchasing, requests a one-year contract extension with Just Air in the amount of $39,700, continuing service through August 2026. This extension will enhance the monitoring network by adding a level 2 monitor to support expanding research, upgrading 5 monitors to track priority pollutants, and improving dashboard tools of reporting, analysis, and quality assurance. Immediate effect is also being requested. Any questions or comments on this item? Any objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 50, resolution by Councilmembers Hamud and El Sawafi authorizing additional expenditures to Applied Science, Inc. in the amount of $448,380 for the design of 4 grade protection stations for continued work on the FEMA Hazard Mitigation Grant Program and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. During the June 25th, 2021 storm, significant basement flooding occurred in multiple neighborhoods, including Gold Avenue, Arthur Avenue, Donald Avenue, and the alley north of Michigan Avenue. Applied Science Incorporated is the city's retained engineering firm, has been instrumental in securing FEMA grants and has developing design concepts to improve Dearborn's sewer collection system as the project moves toward construction bidding. Applied Science Incorporated will provide design construction management services at the total cost of $370,412, along with hydraulic analysis for $77,968. The Air Engineering Division, in coordination with purchasing, requests additional expenditures of $448,380 to complete design work of 4 grade protection stations. Council authorization is requested with immediate effects to expedite this project. Any questions or comments on this item?
Yeah.
Councilman Hamud.
I wish the residents were still here to take a look at this, but it's like, when we do get funding, we do things to help residents infrastructure-wise. So I think this is important to point out. These stations, I know at least 3 of them personally are going to be in East Dearborn. I don't know if all 4 of them are going to be in East Dearborn, but these are to help us, all 4 of them. Okay, so these are all 4 going to be in East Dearborn to help monitor the water levels, continue to help us with the modeling, and to help us show how effective the mitigation measures that we are taking right now and will continue to take in the future are going to be. So I think this is awesome, because I really like that you guys are actually going to go out and collect the data to help us make educated decisions on all this and show the impact that we're going to be doing in these next 10 years worth of projects. So thank you guys.
Excellent. Any other questions or comments? Any objection? Unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 51, resolution by council members Hamud and Enos authorizing the finance director to recognize the Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards, also known as MCOLS, Public Safety Academy Assistant Program Grant awarded to the Dearborn Police Department in the amount of $20,000 and account number 101-2410-330.04-90 and appropriate the same in account 101-2410-515.58-10 and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The Dearborn Police Department has been awarded funds from the Michigan MCOLS, abbreviation, assistance program. The funding amount of $20,000 will use as an offset for Dearborn Police Department to utilize with the Oakland Police Academy. This is a reimbursement grant with no local match as well. Additionally, Finance Director will be authorized to recognize and appropriate these monies as received with immediate effect. Chief, you have something on this?
Real quick, Council President, I just want to highlight for council and for the public, this $20,000 is in addition to over $400,000 in 19 recruits that we've had sponsored through a state grant over the last 2 years. And so I'm proud of that.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Chief. We do appreciate that. Any questions or comments on this item? Objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 52, resolution by council members Abraham and Paris authorizing the finance director to recognize the 2025 Detroit-Wayne County Mental Health Authority grant awarded to the Dearborn Police Department in the amount of $50,000 in account 101-2410-330.07-90 and appropriate the same in account number 101-2410-511.98-00. Also authorizing the finance director to add 15 part-time slots to the part-time position control for police department community service agents and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. For the 11th consecutive year, the Dearborn Police Department has been awarded a grant from the Detroit-Wayne County Mental Health Authority. The grant is in the amount of $50,000, and the Dearborn Police Department will utilize this money to hire up to 15 youth as community service agents and that will provide part-time employment throughout September through September 30th, 2025. This reimbursement grant requires no local match and is requested immediate effect. Any questions or comments on this item? Any objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 53, resolution by council members Hamud and El Sawafi granting the request of Dearborn High School to conduct its annual homecoming parade on Friday, October 10th, 2025, from 5 p.m. to 5:45 p.m., subject to all applicable ordinances and the rules and regulations of the police department, also authorizing a noise waiver for the duration of the event and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Dearborn High School will be hosting its annual homecoming parade. It's already coming, guys, October 10th, 2025, approximately 5 to 5:45 p.m. The parade participants will include a band, cheer team, various clubs, sports teams as well, and, of course, the Dearborn High School administration. The police will lead the parade. A noise waiver is being requested for the duration of the event with an immediate effect. This is a yearly parade for the high school.
Administration would like to
You want to table it?
And Council President Pro Tem says, no, we are not tabling
Yes,
it.
that's right.
Go Pioneers. Look forward to that parade every year.
All right, any other questions or comments on this item? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 54, resolution by council members El Sawafi and Hamud granting the request of Zeman International to conduct its 16th annual Zeman Hope for Humanity 5K run, walk, and picnic on Saturday, September 20th, 2025, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., resulting in the temporary use and closure of the northbound lane of Brady Street between Cherry Hill and the River Rouge Gateway Trail, subject to reimbursement for all city services, all applicable ordinances, and the rules and regulations of the police department. Also authorizing a noise waiver for the duration of the event and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. This is an annual fundraising event that we held at Ford Field Park since 2014, featuring a 5K run walk, kids races, opening ceremonies, and a community picnic. All proceeds benefit Zeman's program supporting families living in extreme poverty across southeastern Michigan. The event is scheduled for Saturday, September 20th, and will begin at 8 a.m. and tear down at 2 p.m. Attendance is expected to reach approximately 2,000 participants. A noise waiver is being requested as well. Any questions or comments on this item? Any objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 55, resolution by council members Enos and El Sawafi granting the request of the Kiwanis Club of Dearborn to hold its annual peanut street sale and solicit contributions on September 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, 2025, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at various public roadways throughout the city, and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The Kiwanis Club of Dearborn is requesting the council to approve to sell their peanuts on public streets in the city of Dearborn. The funds raised by these sales are used to support numerous community service projects and local organizations that benefit the city's youth, elderly, and disadvantaged. Kiwanis Club of Dearborn will conduct the sale of peanuts on the public streets on September 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Folks, they're great peanuts. If you see them out there, grab yourself a bag. It's a great cause. Another great Dearborn organization that is giving back, so we do appreciate them. Any questions or comments? Objection, unanimous roll. Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 56, resolution by council members Paris and Enos, authorizing the use and closure of multiple streets between Tireman and Patton Street beginning 7 a.m. on Saturday, September 13th, 2025, for a community block party in partnership with the City of Detroit, with assistance from several city services, also granting permission to extend these approvals to a rescheduled date if necessary, and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The city of Dearborn will be hosting a community block party on September 13th, 2025, from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. in the afternoon to further positive relations with our neighbors at the city of Detroit. The community block party will take place between Tireman and Pan Street. Additional streets such as Appline, Esper, Miller, Littlefield may be closed fully or partially during this as well. It is anticipated that the resources through the Department of Public Works and DPW and Rec will be requested through the Community Relations Department as well. And the barricading funding will come from the cost of the sponsorships and the Dearborn Community Relations budget as well. The community block party will feature free family friendly activities such as henna, bounce houses, food trucks, instrumental music, as well as an opportunity for residents on both sides of the street to connect with one each other, and immediate effect is requested. I know this has been going on for a couple of years with great success. Councilwoman Herrick.
I'd just like to encourage folks, even if they don't live in the neighborhood, to go check out the aviation subdivision. It's unique in that it's shared between Dearborn and Detroit, and that we've got folks from both neighborhoods coming out for this event. Always have a lot of support from Wayne County and our nonprofit organizations here in Dearborn. They're sharing free information, but even more fun seeing police and fire from both Dearborn and Detroit. They're interacting with families, playing games with the kids. It's a really, really nice partnership between Dearborn and Detroit. And I think Mayor Hamud, he did that the first year he was in office. And I think it really, of course, it's fun that day, but it facilitates relationships going forward and throughout the year. And so even if you don't live in the neighborhood, I encourage you to go check it out. It's a lot of fun.
It is, thank you. And then we do appreciate it. Yeah, the mayor did institute that. It was never done before, and it's been very safe and great community partnership. So we do appreciate that. Any questions or comments? Objection, unanimous roll. Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 57, resolution by council members El Sawafi and Abraham authorizing the finance director to recognize and appropriate the matching grant from Imagine Health Services in the amount of $3,000 to be used to host programming that promotes public health, art, and culture, and requesting immediate effect.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. The Michigan Arts Council, Cultural Council was founded on the belief that the arts and culture enrich our communities and economy and are vital to the well-being of our society. The Public Health Services was awarded the City of Dearborn Department of Public Health matching grant funds in the amount of $3,000 to host programming that promotes public health, art, and culture as well. This is being requested immediate effect. Is there any questions or comments on this? All right, any objection, unanimous roll? We do appreciate the grant for the department as well. Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 58, resolution by council members El Sawafi and Hammoud authorizing the mayor's office to renew the citywide membership with the Southeast Michigan Council of Governments at SEMCOG in the amount of, and that number should be corrected to $15,602 for the period of June 1st, 2025 through May 31st, 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk, for the correction. Again, SEMCOG serves local units of government and education in our region and is a strong advocate with us for the state and through our state and federal legislators. This request is to renew the citywide membership and provide the city with aid that makes regional decisions easier for us and allows us with education as well. The total cost of the membership is $15,602. Any questions or comments? Councilwoman Herrick.
I appreciate our partnership and membership in SEMCOG. As Council President stated, they offer wonderful programming for education for elected officials and networking and learning about, what success stories in other cities and things we might be able to do here. But importantly, they also showcase things that happen in Dearborn. Mayor, could you just tell them a little bit about the award that SEMCOG just gave us for the Peace Parks?
No, there we go. Okay.
You're on
SEMCOG, each year SEMCOG provides a regional showcase award, and it's voted on by members of the executive committee of SEMCOG, which are essentially other municipalities, townships, cities, so on and so forth. And so the Peace Parks project was actually awarded the regional showcase award for all of Southeast Michigan. This is the proposal that included obviously the creation of our Peace Parks, but also the investment of over $30 million across our park system. And I've been doing a little bit more research over the last few weeks, and what I can tell you is a lot of municipalities have even gone out for bond, actually, to try to invest $15 million, $20 million into the park system, and the bonds have failed. We were actually just taking a few mayors on tour of the investments that we have made, and they're trying to model to see how they can leverage the dollars that we have between city, county, and state and federal government to try to make the level of investment that we have. And so we're sharing, our know-how, our knowledge with all of our neighbors, but to be recognized by your peers is extremely important. So hats off to our Parks and Rec department, hats off to everybody that went into securing this proposal, and obviously with the support of council, we're able to make a transformational investment that will last generations, and families will enjoy, hopefully, for the lifetime of this play equipment.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Councilwoman Herrick. As she indicated, the strong partnership with SEMCOG, and it is great to be recognized for the work that we did there in the Recreation Department. Any objection? Unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 59, resolution by council members Abraham and Enos concurring in the appointment of Yusuf Salah to the Parks and Recreation Commission with the term ending June 30th, 2028, and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. This is an appointment for Yusuf Salah to Parks and Recreation Commission for a 3-year term, the term ending June 30th, 2028. I'd just like to remind everyone that we have tremendous amount of volunteer time that our commissions put in, and this is a new rec commission gentleman that will be joining and helping our city as well. So we do appreciate them, and thank you. Any objection? Unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
There are no other items on tonight's agenda.
All right, great. So before I open up to my colleagues, I just had a few things I had written down here. I wanted to thank the administration and the mayor, of course, for another very successful homecoming, tremendous event. And I live right on the top of the hill. I got a lot of complainers in my neighborhood, and the group chat was very quiet. So I can tell you, tremendous job whatsoever. And we did get lucky, Mayor, with the weather. I mean, I thought it was going to be a scorcher. I was going to sell water out there myself, but it did turn to be down a little temperature. Tremendous event, great organizations, great cause, and I know we continue to grow it. And I know that we haven't had any flooding issues there, and things have been tremendous. I know there was cleanup that was been done, and we do appreciate all the work that's put into this homecoming. It means a lot. People that lived in Dearborn many, many years ago come back for this time, meet their friends and family here. It's a great event, so I wanted to congratulate that as well.
If you could just give me permission real quick.
Absolutely, Mayor. Go ahead.
Eric Amara is here. I think the stress of homecoming caused, round of applause to Alia Phillips is out. She had her healthy, beautiful daughter that she welcomed into this world.
Congratulations.
I think the stress of homecoming brought the baby early.
Probably.
Because she wasn't due yet. But Eric Amara is here, and Alia obviously tag team, but Eric has been taking lead for a few years, and she's a Dearborn resident, born and raised. And so for me, how powerful that a Dearborn resident's running homecoming now, working with all of our organizations and such, and truly was a success. Last year was successful. This year actually beat out last year in terms of numbers, and we're excited to provide the reports once we're able to get them about how many people attended, where they came from, where they went to afterwards, and hopefully trying to get to a economic impact of homecoming, which we'd like to measure.
Yeah, that would be great. I could tell you it's a tremendous job, and when people are asking, what's the band, and the problem is you got to do better next year. That's the problem we're having.
But when Bob
How do you
Abraham is
outbound that
happy,
one?
you know you did good. When Bob
I know the
Abraham is
Fortune
happy,
Alumni
you
Club
did
did
good.
better
Yeah.
than they did the year before, right? So that's all that matters.
They always do good.
All right. You got the right people behind that booth. You can't say no. We do appreciate it. I wanted to recommend a couple more things. Our finance director and department, of course, I know it's not by yourself, the whole department, tremendous job again. They were recognized for the third consecutive year, an award by Excellence in Finance Reporting and Transparency. I know that people love to use that word, but that Transparency for Government Finance Office and Association of the United States and Canada. So GFOA has awarded the city of Dearborn for the third consecutive year for accounting. Folks, it's not that hard unless the accountant wants to make it hard, but Mr. Kennedy, Director Kennedy, has always made it as simple for us to digest and understand. I can't thank you enough. It is a big deal to be recognized, by a third-party agency of the work that your department is doing. We really appreciate it. I know I do, because I was around when they'd give you a stack and say, we gave it to you. It's in there under 2,000 pages. So I do appreciate the transparency and what you're doing in your office. I also want to. I also want to recommend a couple other things. A happy Labor Day. I know my son went back to school Monday. Today's Tuesday, yesterday. So happy Labor Day coming up. The summer's ending. I know it's sad, but football's back too, so there's good there too. But your kids going back to school, and before you know it, we'll be buying salt, or we already bought salt probably for the road. So going back to school is a very important time, and just keep a reminder, as people and the children get back to school, pay attention. I know the mayor has been focusing tremendously on these speed humps all over, and we're focusing on our school areas as well for our children. So just have a great holiday and Labor Day, and keep in mind that when the school's back open, to be cautious of that around there. I do want to mention our rec department. I'm really big on these videos. I know the Chiefs videos are great. I was actually in one of them. I made a cameo in one of them. It was great. But the Camp Dearborn video was great, where I think one of our guys almost got hit by a truck, and then Steve, tremendous. What do they call that, Mayor? A hook? To get you to watch it before you scroll through. I can tell you, hey, you know what? When we started this, the younger generation of Dearborn administration, where they wear suits and tennis shoes and stuff, and it doesn't work for me, but I can tell you, or stopped wearing ties completely, our director. But I'll tell you what, the social media aspect of our city has at a different level. Tremendous things. And I'll tell you, I watched it, and then I got a text email, so I don't know what you guys got on there, but I got something on Facebook. I watched Scott, and then all of a sudden I got Camp Dearborn request. So I can tell you the social media aspect is working. I can't thank all of the team for what they're doing. It does work. It does matter. And the people do like it. They like to see that their city is active and what they're doing in there as well. On a final note, before I turn it over to my colleagues, an unfortunate, somber event. I'd like to recognize our director, Mansour Shajara's father passing. Sharha, I'm sorry, I pronounced it wrong. The condolences from the council for your father, Salah. I can tell you, I lost my father. I know how it feels. And to anyone out there that loses a parent, no matter it's expected or unexpected, it's a very hard time. A very, very hard time. I'm actually surprised to see you here, Director. And, I can tell you from myself as a brother, and condolences, that it's tough. It does get, as time passes, it does heal. But there's always a void. I mean, a father or a mother, a parent is a very, very, very important part of a person's upbringing, especially the children and the grandchildren. So Allah yarhamu, and again, just a condolences from the council for your loss, and thank you for being here. I really don't know what to say other than Allah yarhamu, and I wish you the best in this as well. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. Thank you. Absolutely, Councilwoman Herrick.
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to give an acknowledgement and a thank you on behalf of the Intercultural Community Center in Dearborn, which is a nonprofit organization based here in Dearborn, building cultural bridges here. The organization had a panel discussion on housing in Dearborn, and two City of Dearborn employees just did a stellar job representing their departments and providing helpful information. From the housing department, we had Dustin Kane, the housing manager, and he answered questions. He provided information to the group that was assembled about the variety of housing that the City of Dearborn offers. Of course, we have our 5 city apartment buildings for seniors, but in addition, the other resources that the housing department has available to assist residents, it was eye-opening for a lot of the people in attendance. So thank you for Dustin Kane. And then from the Dearborn Police Department, Lieutenant James Isaacs represented the police department, again, talking about working with, especially working with people who are in housing crisis or insecure housing situations, the resources that the police department can provide to people in need, and the way in which they work with residents and visitors to our city with such humanity and thoughtfulness when they work with people especially in these precarious situations regarding housing. So I wanted to say thank you. And Chief Shaheen had also recommended that Danny Hirani be one of our panelists from Team Wellness Center that works with the Dearborn Police Department to assist people who are in housing crisis or in need of temporary housing and many other services. So thank you, Chief, for recommending Danny. I had known him from the community, but learned so much more about him during that panel discussion. So it was well received, and the feed that we got from participants at that panel is they'd like to have another program on housing going forward to address even more questions, concerns, ideas about housing in Dearborn. And then I'd also like to thank the city administration. We acknowledge some of the partners that donated food trucks that have donated food at some of our events. One of them being last week's dedication of the Butterfly Garden and the Pockets of Perception Student Design Team mural that's on the back of Arabian Village Market in Southeast Dearborn. Just a beautiful place to stop, take your breath, watch the butterflies, look at the flowers, and enjoy that beautiful space that was put in with volunteers and the City of Dearborn, and the mural that was done by the POP team under the direction of Sunshine Durant, the artist who manages that program, and the Dearborn Community Fund. And then Jack Tate from our Dearborn Historical Museum is here with Matt Graff, and they asked me to remind folks that this Friday and Saturday, are the vintage sale at the Dearborn Historical Museum. And if you'd like to attend on Friday for a sneak peek preview of the things that are on sale from the various vendors, it's a $5 admission, and those proceeds do benefit our historical museum. And, whoops, just lost the page on my phone. That's from 1 until 5 p.m. on 1 till 6 p.m. on Friday, and then 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday, and admission is free at the sale on Saturday. So hope to see you out there.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Thank you.
Anyone else from my colleagues on the council? Councilman Hamud?
Yeah, so 3 years ago, when we first got on council, we decided to reopen the RFP process for the master plan. And one of the things that I pushed for, oh, what, the mic's off? Oh, can I get approved?
Yeah.
All right. So 3 years ago, when we started the master plan, we put in the RFP a request for a tool to evaluate the impact that projects would have actually on the city. So we wanted a clear way to measure the precise financial impact and by extension the tax and service impact of various projects. And 3 years later now, I'm happy to announce that the tool is finally ready and being used now to evaluate projects that are going to come to council on major developments. So I think that's really awesome, and I think it's one of those things that we should celebrate, honestly.
I was expecting a different kind of statement, but I appreciate that statement.
Absolutely. Got to have a plan. You said it from day one.
Not just
Absolutely.
that, I think it's important to measure actual financial impact of a development, because there are sometimes cases where you can build something and it might look nice, but it's actually taking money away from taxpayers.
Absolutely, could definitely happen.
So
I don't think it's a butterfly garden, because that place is great.
Hey, it maintains itself, I heard.
Well,
It does need some work.
I can tell you, I think.
Community input.
Councilwoman Herrick mentioned it, and I'm doing a highlight on it. I can tell you that the butterfly garden, you took a place that was vacant, and tremendous work from DPW. I know that I talked to Mr. Golich, and they were out there watering all day and night to get it going till we got our sprinkler system up. But to take a vacant parcel of land, abutting, an alleyway and a commercial district that was just getting wasted on, to turn it into an absolutely beautiful part of the city of Dearborn is great. So we do appreciate that. But you're right, the impact does have to be measured without question.
I was thinking more major redevelopments. But
Yeah, I think to Councilman Hamud's point, it's a great tool, especially now in the days where cost of construction is so high, and many developers are coming forward to council seeking support in some sort of incentive way for us to measure what is the cost of their development as it pertains to utilizing public services versus what we're actually going to capture from a property tax perspective. I think it only helps benefit the conversation. So kudos to you. I know you've been championing this for quite some time. I'm glad that we finally got there as a city, and I think it'll only provide valuable input and information that's needed to make decisions and the developments that are coming forward.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Paris.
Thank you, Council President. If I could just make mention, appreciate the police and fire departments and what they post online in regards to events that are going on. In particular, I really enjoy watching and seeing the information about promotions. The fire department is included in that. The Chief Murray puts out a lot of information about backgrounds of people that are either retiring or that are coming forward with promotion. And just noticed this last one from the chief, of course, Miss Commander Zimnikus, that is, or Zelazny, I'm sorry, that is retired, and his role has been replaced now. So I really look forward to those, and I appreciate that. If I could, too, just what the council president pro tem made mention about the meeting that she was involved in at the church, it was eye-opening. And to hear some of the information that Lieutenant Isaacs made mention in particular, I really enjoyed getting more information about team wellness. And I know it's in Westland, but the services that they provide to so many people, and the owner of that team wellness, he does not look for recognition and doesn't want his name out there, and provides a lot of wealth of community services out of his pocket. So I just want to make mention of that. I did appreciate having that meeting. It was very insightful. One thing, excuse my voice here, that I did want to make mention, though, is I've had a number of emails recently, and either for finance or if the HR director might be here, I don't see a rep from HR, but in particular.
HR is not,
Okay.
doesn't have it,
But
it's
it
not
may
mandated.
be then for finance, that if you could possibly look into Monday.com. I did provide some input for Monday.com today, and hopefully get some information back. There's been a number of part-time employees that have been talking about their PTO changeover, and I'm not one that's privy to a lot of information, but if we can just make sure to answer employees' questions, because they seem to be not getting the answers that they want. So I'd just like to put that out there to be able to get some information on that. Thank you.
Director?
Good evening, Michael Kennedy, Finance Director. I did touch base with Daniel Cheney today, the HR Administrator, on this item. It was used to be kind of in the payroll, but it's definitely an HR issue, or not issue, excuse me, HR category. So when the new ESTA, the Employee Sick Time Act, came into play in February, that replaced the PEMLA, Paid Medical Leave Act. And that's what we had in place, where we had to look back at the last fiscal year, and then people were awarded hours right around July 10th. And they were granted 40 hours if they met the current conditions, which you had to work over at least 25 hours a week in 25 weeks. That would grant you the 40 hours, which was given to you up front. Currently, the ESTA that was adopted in February by the state of Michigan, it works as you earn. So as I work 30 hours, I get 1 hour of ESTA. So it's in their bank automatically. It's not retroactively looking at the last year. So there was some feedback that they thought they were losing something, but in reality, there was nothing lost, because it was a retroactive and accrual bank addition to start with, and now they're just earning it as they go. One other point I would share is that the previous legislation allowed 40 hours. This one allows up to 72. So they should have the opportunity to earn more time. And that's what I have to report on that situation.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Any other questions or comments from my colleagues on the council? All right, anything from the mayor, administration?
Nope.
Mr. Clerk, anything from the clerk?
Yeah, real quick, applications are going out next week for those people that are interested in voting absentee. We have a big election coming up in November, and we want to make sure that people get those opportunities to vote if they're not going to be in town, so those will be available next week. I'm also working with DPW and Tim Hawkins. We're installing another drop box, which will be at Ford Field in the lower area across from the small shelter, and that should be up and going hopefully by the end of next week or shortly after.
Excellent. Another Dropbox will help. Excellent. All right, at this time, we are on our second public comment. Anyone here to address the city council regarding city business, please step forward. Okay. At this time, we take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Councilman Herrick to adjourn. We are adjourned.